Guys, Robert here, and I got with me a new special guest, Larry from it's Nyobi Comics, correct?
Some people pronounce it Nyobi.
Robert here, and I got with me a new hold on. Oh, I got an echo. I got an echo. Go away. Hold on.
No, I fixed it, dude.
Oh, that was your end. That was your end. Whoops.
Yeah, because I was monitoring the stream, so you just sort of rocked on, and I was like, oh, right, I have
Yep.
that on.
Yep. Oh, don't worry. I can see the chats on the. We'll be seeing the chats on the right side anyway. So.
Well, you have Homenius. How do you say
Hominis. He must have been texting right before we get started. Sometimes they do that, and those don't appear, unfortunately.
Well, he gets the honor of being first, you know.
Well, I can't share that, unfortunately. So, what'd he say?
He says, already pinned. I need a finish. I need to finish
a few things, and I'll be there. Gotcha. Hominis, he's a regular. He'll be here eventually. He usually is. So yeah, until other people start joining in. So let's just get started talking about you've been doing a bunch of crowdfunding books with your and with well, yeah, you've just done a couple of them, and now you're working with Anarch Press. Care to talk a bit about? Oh, there's Bianca, by the way, the person who pointed me in your direction.
There you go.
Yep. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just basic introduction to myself, I guess.
Right. I should have said that first.
I'm LP, otherwise known as Larry, otherwise known as Rebel Comics, Rebel Gaming, Nyobi Comics, Drifter, MBK Drifter, Hot Shot, Hot Rod, the Bringer of Destruction, the Savior of Salvation, the Breaker of Chains, the Force of the North, Too Cute to Refute, the Man of 1001 Nicknames, still LIVE live.
Ah.
I know, it's quite the spiel. I'm surprised I remembered it all.
Hey, Raymond, what's up?
Basically, I make a comic book called Nyobi, and Nyobi's a Japanese pop star. Has the ability to teleport, but she finds out that her teleportation is not exactly healthy for her. It turns out, Robert, listen to this, that teleporting, through time and space has a toll on the body.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's not doing her any benefits to her health, and
I would assume not.
She was told, to use her power wisely because one day it could offer, Yeah, that's a lot of names.
That is
all self-given.
Oh, you think that? Oh, yeah, the listing you were doing earlier. Yeah, that is a lot of names,
right? And it's we're still adding to it.
Oh, I'm certain. Sorry, I'm just trying to. Ah, boy, doing it on my phone is going to be just doing it. And you can no, you can't see it on the left side. I'd be able to show it off, but I want to show. You know what? Let's just get it out of the way. I'll show you off my collection. Raymond and the others have seen it, but I've never shown it in this way. So you'll be the first to be seeing it without me having to run and take it off the bookshelf.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a world premiere.
Yep.
World premiere.
All right. I'm just trying to get this. I'm trying to get this right. Hold on. There we go.
Boom! Look at this. Now here we go.
Yeah, there's a bunch of omnibus that I've got. I've got a bunch on the floor I was going to show off. Venom, Thor, Iron Man, Avengers, Age of Apocalypse. Sorry for the quality of this, guys. Very guerrilla style.
That's right, Raymond. World premiere. World premiere.
The Thunderbolts. Oh, yeah, if you didn't know, I have the Crossing. I got that for cheap.
Cheap is always good.
Yep. There's the shelf of the floppies I was telling you about.
So how does that work?
I know most of what books are there, and I place them. Most of my complete runs and everything are there. Then there's some more of my trades and other issues. There's some other floppies there. Most of those are Green Lantern related. At the bottom,
looks like you're ready to open a bookstore.
I wish. I wouldn't sell any of these though. Yeah, that's the one shelf that has mostly trades. Plus, I got a few other books here, and then in my bedroom, I have a few other long boxes. thinking about getting a few other bookshelves to be able to clear out those long boxes, so at least I have immediate access and don't have to keep lifting and unloading them all.
So
I'll say this.
what's interesting about your collection, though, is that you do have a lot of trades and omnibuses and hardcovers and stuff. Do you prefer that? Because I know a lot of people back in the day would buy floppies, and then they sort of made the transition from floppy buying to buying trades because A, it reduced the amount of space that all the books were taking, but B, it's almost like essentially like binge watching a show on Netflix, right? Like you get the whole story at once as opposed to a higher price and waiting every month or so for the next installment.
For me, it depends. A large portion of these are books I never collected in the individual runs. So I got the trades of those, and there are a couple where I will buy them all. Like a while ago, I actually got the Superman Batman Generations omnibus. Hold on. Come on, phone. Catch up. Because I actually had the individual issue, well, the first two trades, and then the individual issues of 12, but that was the problem. It was like you had two trades and a bunch of other issues. I figured I'll just upgrade to the omnibus.
Why not, right?
Right. Now, there's some of them, though, that even if I could upgrade, I wouldn't because I actually have signatures in some of them. Like the Just Imagine Stan Lee books. Unfortunately, Stan never signed them, but I had stuff like well, first of all, I'm done showing this stuff, so.
Well, I'll tell you, I did meet Stan Lee.
Oh, you did? Lucky.
Well, I felt guilty.
I had tried. I had 2 times to do it, and both times I felt like, one, you had to pay in advance to do it, and I never did either times. And second of all, I just kept saying I had more time.
Well, the thing with Stan Lee when I met him was it was at the tail end of his life.
Oh, mine was a bit before that. His wife was still around, so you could tell he had a lot more energy in him then.
Yeah. Well, this is maybe 2 or 3 years before he died. Todd McFarlane had brought him to a convention in Calgary because that's Todd's town, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was at that convention, of course, and so I got to meet both of those guys. But the thing with Stan was, man, like it was exciting to meet, of course, like the Godfather, of Marvel Comics. But it was so sad because you can tell at that point,
yeah,
it was over. Like honest to hell, dude, I wasn't sure, man. That I was like thinking to myself, this dude could just go like at any point. Like what if on the con floor? You know what I mean? Like it was that bad,
Yep.
And you get up to Stan. And when you all the sort of like rumors about what it's like to meet with Stan Lee are kind of true, You get up there, it's almost like they make him work like a machine, right?
Yeah, I've heard that towards the end, especially when you had that horrible manager of his, that one that took over after near the end, not the one that got rid of by the near the end because of
he was he was all hunch over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of handlers with him, and basically you get up to him, and the guy would like slide your book over, right? And stand with a very sort of like shaky hand, with scribble his name on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got like 30 seconds if you're lucky to say something to Stan, and then they sort of like ushered you off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then of course the CGC guys were right there, to collect everyone's Stan Lee books as a witness, right? To send to CGC, right? I gave him my book though. That was right. Like a cool moment, like here, Stan. Like I said, I don't know if you can accept gifts, but here's my book. You're every single person that does this, handing it off to Stan Lee, and his handler just whispers in his ear, right, and goes, and I can barely hear, but he goes, "This is this guy's book," right? And Stan just does the little nod, and they take it back. So I don't know if you ever saw the book or whatever happened. Right.
Oh, the other name I have in here that it's one of the reasons why is Ramona Fradon.
I'm not aware.
She's done she's a Golden Age Aquaman artist.
Oh, okay.
Still alive in her 90s, I think.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hopefully not still drawing comics like Jack Kirby did until his death,
I don't think she was drawing until she's still drawing. She might do occasional drawings, but she's not doing any regular books. But yeah, I would have had Stan sign this. Any one of them.
Yeah, it was hard to find a book for me to get Stan to sign because
Oh yeah, there's so many. But if I had to pick it, it would be one of these.
I'll tell you what it was, and like I'm surprised if I don't actually have it out. It might be in my boxes, but basically it was X-Men 49 because I wanted to get something that Stan actually wrote, right?
Right, right.
So like I find X-Men 49, which also turned out to be a key issue all on its own because it was the first of Polaris, right?
Oh right, Polaris. Yep.
So that's what I got him to sign. McFarlane was a little different story. Here's the book. Yeah, McFarlane was a little different story. McFarlane was of course live and active and very talkative.
Right.
He didn't charge for signatures. He didn't charge for photos, and he would spend time talking to you, man. Like if Todd was interested in what you had to say, or he had a story to tell you,
like what you usually heard Stan would usually do back before he started winding down.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's see if we can get this to work. Oh, look at that! Boom.
Yep.
This book right here that I got him to sign.
Oh yeah, nice.
So that's nice. And then of course they give you a little certificate and all that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool moment, But like I said, I felt good at the same time because I felt almost like, am I part of like taking advantage of this old man? But at the same time, it's like Stan Lee, and I'm never going to.
Yeah, it's Stan Lee, one of the big gods of comics, and
right.
Yeah.
You hear me, man? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I hear you, and I gotta ask you, has there ever been a creator where you've either heard bad news about them or their deaths that really hit you like a punch in the gut, like you almost as much as you losing a family member? Because I'll be honest, for me, it was the recent news for George Perez's, though I was emotionally a mess today. I know some people, I don't know if you saw my video about it. I did a tribute video, showcasing it. I broke down at the end. I just completely lost it and I'm almost on the verge of doing it again because I've only met the man twice, but he drew one of my characters. I'll show you some of those in a little bit. And just so much of my books that I got into. Christ and Infinite Earths was one of my first books I ever bought, the trade. And I always read that. And it was like almost my interest in comics. I mean, okay, it wasn't the first books I ever read. That was a couple of random issues of the World Without a Superman stuff. But it was some of the first stuff I still bought that I read over and over that got me fascinated in the multiverse, all because of George's artwork.
I mean, as far as a creator dying, that I really mourned. I mean, I think it would have to be, Stan.
Stan, yep.
Well, Stan's,
Oh yeah, I mean, and it hit me too. I think it was me. I saw it coming. It wasn't such an out of the blue,
Yeah. Well, I mean, everyone knew it was coming. There was lots of rumors floating around Stan about how he was treated. Like we all remember, like Kevin Smith saying, "Hey, come live at my house." What I mean?
Yeah, and I believe Kevin meant that. I think knowing Kevin, he meant it.
Right, we'll take care of you, Stan. Don't worry, So we all knew like the bad was coming. But yeah, I mean, I remember going on Peter Simeti's tribute for Stan Lee's show. Yeah, he's the guy that runs Alternative Comics, right?
Right.
And everyone got to talk about their little moment with Stan if they had one, or what Stan sort of meant to them, and it was a good show, man. But yeah, I would say that the other one though, like someone I met personally that passed on was Darwin Cook, right?
Oh, I only had a chance. I never had a chance to meet him. I almost did. In fact, it was the time when he died. It was right the week he died that they had because they had just canceled the convention that he was coming to. A few days later, he was gone. He was ready to come to Motor City Comic Con and then it happened. It was.
Another one says face reveal. Yes.
Yep. Bianca. Yep.
We got Dominic Powell in the chat.
Yep.
Dominic says, "Lucky, I still want to meet the artists and writers of any of the age of comics, golden age, being one of them." There you go.
Yep. Well, there was one other golden age creator I've met. I just blanked on his name. Give me a moment to look it up, but it was one of those cases where I volunteer at Motor City Comic Con regularly. So, I got it. Alan Bellman. I actually got to meet Alan Bellman. Do you know who that is?
I do not. No.
Oh, yeah. He was a very one of the last Golden Age artists who worked on Captain America, among others. And I'll share a video, not video, an image. But basically, what made it me never forget was that I was, again, volunteering. So I was sent to just keep an eye, on his the table until he was ready to go. And I was told then eventually by the end to leave. But then I hear word from his wife that oh, they haven't gotten word on what they were supposed to be driven because they're so old to the bus that the depot, they'd be dropped off. And nothing came through, and I'm just standing there. I'm like, I'm not leaving them. So I kept thinking, like, someone, anyone, and I eventually got someone over there. They talked it over. They sent someone else over. They talked it over, figured out what was going on. Bit of miscommunication. Eventually, someone came by, picked them up, and I saw them off. And it was just one of those moments where I felt like these are comic royalty because of, like one of the last Golden Age artists, and yet they're being treated like dirt.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, that's a story that we hear too often, right? There's a series of lawsuits that are happening with Marvel right now, and a lot of these families of Stan Lee and Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby, etc.
Yep, there he is.
All basically fighting now for a piece of that, that $1 billion pie, if you will, because they were paid, so little for the creations that made so much,
Yep.
You imagine being Jack Kirby, a guy who's brought, like, in the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, and yet you're working, like, pretty much near to your death just to pay the bills. While movie franchises with characters that you made and designed are lost billions of dollars. Exactly.
Oh, boy. I'm trying to find any other one, and they were just so kind, so nice, and they eventually gave me it for free. One of the stuff they normally would pay to be giving out. I'm trying to find it. It's just an example of his later year artwork, but even his later years wasn't bad.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, there's something very, very classic.
Very classic.
Like, this is, like, you look at that and you go, yeah, that's definitely Golden Age. I mean, you look at your speedster in the back, just the way the pose.
Namor, yeah.
That's almost very Kirby-esque. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, the facial expressions look a little weird, but for the most part, though, it's like everything about it still feels like the guy still had it. You know what I mean? Just stuff like that. And I've had a bunch of other people. I did tell you before off screen that I was going to show you some of my original characters. Might as well do that. Now, keep in mind this: a bunch of these were initially done with fan fiction, type of stuff in mind. So I actually would have already established stuff, but then I do have original versions. You know what I mean?
Let's see.
All right. Well, this one is one of the original versions done by Ron Friends of my character. Okay, come on. What's going on? Come on.
Don't miss out.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah, I like this. Any way you can make that a little bigger?
Like that?
Yeah, that's a good look at it, So tell me about this character.
Her name, well, this is Ninjetta. This particular version is named Chloe Bradshaw. She is this particular version of the character is more in a kind of a Batman Beyond as Blade Runner-esque future, and she doesn't really know that at first, but she is the granddaughter of Ninjetta, which was her grandmother was Ninjetta, who is basically part of this long-running history of superheroes and all that. But basically, she was like the leader of a huge team of heroes until after their last battle devastated LA and lost a lot of their members, so there were only a handful left. And what did they get for thank you? We're going to ban superheroes.
Always comes down to that, brother.
Yep. But in the in-between years, her grandmother, her own mother, biological mother and all that stuff, get killed off. Now, she die when one of her grandmother's enemies makes one last stand. She barely survives. And she has a bit of a fear of fire because right near the end, she had, when she was found by the firemen, a fireman, she was surrounded by fire, so she had a bit of a logical fear of it, and she was raised in an orphanage, a very horrible orphanage, one of those types. I mean, we're not talking Orphan Annie, we're talking about worse than that types. But eventually, through circumstances, some friends of her grandmother's, their family finds her, adopts her, because she's technically married to her grandmother or great uncle. So, and all that. So she's eventually able to get out of the orphanage. And then during that time, finds out about her heritage, and then eventually takes up the mantle of Ninjetta in a future age.
There you go, brother.
Now, that's just this particular version, but I do have so many other characters. She's one of my pride and joys, and my other one is this Robo Girl, Jewel.
Okay. Very got that sort of animated, almost anime, influence here.
Yep. Funny enough, the animated influence this character is Armitage III.
So tell me a little bit about what we're looking at here.
Jewel, now, I have two different versions for Jewel. One where she's entirely a solo character, and one where she's part of the bigger team. One where she's part of the bigger team, she doesn't come introduced until much later. We'd have another robot character, loosely based on my life as a teenage robot, Jenny, who'd be running around until Jewel was seemingly created by one of their villains to pose as her daughter from the future and trying to undermine her. Eventually, she is able to fight back and become her own person and becomes one of the premier teenage heroes.
She's Gargamel implanted Smurfette into the Smurfs to make them all
like that. Well, like that, but it's a bit the party influences that maybe I'm almost ripping off was the second Tenchi Muyo movie.
Okay, there you go.
But she's techno-organic, so she would look and act like a normal human girl. You wouldn't know otherwise looking at her, until she would reveal her weapons like she does up on top. Now, the guy who drew this is a good friend of mine named Niben Destikim, and he has designed some of my characters, but he's not the co-creator of Jewel, though. That would be my friend Dan, aka Superman, who did this one.
Yeah, there you go. That's got almost like a very Bruce Timm sort of vibe going on to it.
Yeah, definitely. And I've also had a bunch of others. I mentioned about George Perez drawing her.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Yep. Every time I look at that. I've also had Craig Russo.
Now, let me ask you a question here.
Yeah.
Have you done a comic book with these characters yet?
I have not. I've been wanting to. That's my end goal. And I've been wanting to do it either with Destikim or my friend Dan. Dan, unfortunately, has been having a lot of rough stuff in his life, and Destikim, well, I have to build up enough funds to commission him to do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a conversation we can have tonight.
Yeah, sure.
How to get you started and get you rolling and da. Because
Yep. Because
I've been there and done that. What I mean? Like.
Oh yeah, I have all of these designs. Like here's Phil Jimenez.
Because I'll tell you something. You've sort of done what I did. In fact, no, you pretty much exactly done what I did back in the day. So when I made Nyobi, right?
Yep. Joe Prado, by the way.
Yeah. When I made Nyobi, I was drawing her myself. I used to play a lot of RPG tabletop games, right? Dragons and all that sort of stuff. Well, there was one that was a superhero version. It was called Heroes Unlimited, right? Oh, yep. So I made Nyobi when I'm 16 years old. Now, keep in mind, this is back in the turbulent time known as the 90s, 1990s to be exact, right?
Yep.
And I would draw her for a bit. I was collecting comics heavily at the time, watching a lot of anime, all the good stuff, right? Playing modern, you name it, we were doing it, right? Then about 2008, well, even before that, I got out of comics. It's probably shortly after the Image boom, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, quick thing, this Phil Hester one, a free sketch, but you couldn't tell looking at it.
Yeah, it's a nice little head sketch there,
Yep. Keep going. I'm just showing off more. I'm just letting you know who did these.
Yeah, sure. But basically, I got back into comic books, and then they started having a few more conventions around the area. And
Right.
so I would go to these conventions, and of course, there was this magical place called, as you know, Artist Alley. Right?
Artist Alley. Yep.
Right. And I'm walking up and down Artist Alley, like, holy shit. I'm like, there are guys and girls here that will draw stuff. You just give them money and they'll draw stuff. I'm like,
Whatever. Some of them might put restrictions on. I know Jan Jurgens does for good reason, but most of them, yeah, will do what you ask.
yeah. Well, I was underneath the assumption that it was all going to be characters that they have drawn or shit that they worked on, right?
Right.
Then one day I just get the idea of, what if I actually brought, a professional, my crappy little drawings, and see what she would look like, in the eyes of a pro, right?
Right.
And so I started doing that. Now, when you start getting some cool stuff, and I got a couple examples here, but I'll show this one. This was done by Mike Ruth, who worked on some stuff for Red Sonja and whatnot.
Right. Hold on. Let me zoom you up a bit. Hold on. There we go. Whoa, nice.
Okay.
Very nice.
And that.
Wait, what was his name? What was his name? What was his name?
Mike Ruth.
Mike Root. I think I've met him before.
Yeah, he's a cool Canadian cat up in Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
He charged me what, $25, I think it was, for that.
Oh, nice.
Dude, like, no, it was awesome, man.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going around and I'm getting stuff like this done, right? And I did that for, until 2015. I was getting stuff like that done, and I had like a whole portfolio. Like, it could be on like sketch cards, it could have been on, comic book.
Oh, yeah, I know.
17. Whatever they were working on, I was getting done. And I had so many of these done that I'm just like, wow, she looks really good drawn by these pros, a lot better than what I can do. Maybe I should make a comic book.
Oh, yep. Oh, here's something funny. This is Jewel as an adult. It's the same girl you've been seeing, but as an adult. Oh, hold on. Hey, Max.
Oh.
They're just showing off some of my images of my character, Jewel, and some of my characters done by pros. This one is a character I already shown, Larry, named Jewel. This is her adult stuff done by Ryan Stegman, and this was before Ryan Stegman started charging through the nose. So I lucked out big time on that one.
It's always good to grab someone when they're new.
Yep, but this was back when he was doing the backup stories for She-Hulk, of the She-Hulk stuff.
Yep.
Also,
I mean,
Derek,
not new, but
no, not new, but
new.
I know what you meant. But yeah, here's Derek Robinson, and this one's a free sketch done by Aaron Lopresti.
Aaron Lopresti, there you go.
There you go.
Yep.
Comicsgate fame.
Yep. Long before that. My Ninjetta character, Billy Tucci, did this.
Yep.
Yep.
Perez did this.
I like this one. I like this one a lot.
Yeah, it's nice and
I don't know
simple.
if the ninja masks, because I just made a character with a ninja mask, but I like this one. This one speaks to me, sir.
Hold on, I have another one. Now I do have a character named Assassina. All right, that's the rival to Ninjetta. Here's what one of her normal looks. Let me find another one. Oh no, this is my friend Dan who drew this. My friend Dan still drew this one.
That's
Here's another one. Now this one is the mother of this one.
It's a whole family, man.
Well, not directly. I should say the host. Okay, instead of a symbiote, they have a Jin. The Jin is the mother of the other one. The two hosts, no relation whatsoever.
Okay.
But here's one of the other ones I had. Now, this is one of the ones where, unfortunately, I couldn't have the heart to tell him that he made a mistake. Now, look at this. You see the mask, right? That's where the T-star and everything are on the mask. More so seen here. But I had Norm Brayfogle, before he passed away, do this. Take a look at what's wrong.
Oh,
Whoops.
yeah. No.
I couldn't have the heart. I couldn't have the heart to tell him.
I don't see it. What's wrong?
The mask.
The mask. It's not her face.
Yeah, the face is above, and he thinks the teeth was what she did.
Yeah.
Here's Yannick Paquette.
I met Yannick.
Yannick, yeah.
Well, I mean, however you pronounce it. He was a cool cat. He signed my Wonder Woman hardcover book that I had for him. You know?
Hold on, let me get some other ones I've got. Now this one I'm going to show you what my friend had drawn first. This is one of the big villains, Visceru.
Mr.
Yep, he's an alien warlord. I've had
That's the cloak image.
Yep. I've had Tim Seeley draw him. I've had Andy. Now, here's the other thing. For some reason, when people look at this one, they think there's a mask on his face. Because, well, here's Andy Lanning's version. Dan Frega did this one. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They keep giving him a mask for some reason. Chris Burnham did a 1-minute sketch on this.
That only took 1 minute.
Yep, he timed himself.
Gee, that's almost a comic book cover right there. But
Yeah. Dan, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
yeah,
Yep.
no, that's just Max's usual routine. He's gonna
Yep.
cough all night and
Yep.
drink.
Daniel HDR did this one. I've had Dave Gibbons.
Robert.
Yep. Angel Medina. And now this next one is a free sketch that Shane Davis had done. Very rough, but I still like it.
Yeah.
This one helped me. Because of this. Okay, I had explained about the mask thing to this guy before, and yet he decided to take it and actually make it something that has since now become part of the character. Norm Ratman did this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I love this. Look at that. Instead of a mask, he actually makes it a marking.
Yeah, that's badass.
Yeah.
Almost like a tattoo or something.
Yeah.
Exactly. Ever since then, it's been part of the character. I am not going to get rid of it. Now, the other one is, this was done by, I don't know, you didn't see this, Max, but Larry did. The same guy who did that one first Jewel image I showed you, did this. Visceru with his rival, Demetria.
Looks like video game art.
Yep. And hold on, let me find the other ones. Now, like I said before, there are some stuff that's fan fiction-y. I might as well get it out of the way. My Ninjetta character initially was what you guys remember Rugrats?
Yeah, the TV show.
Yep. Larry, do you?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
Kimmy. Yep. Yep, but yeah, that's what she was. Yep, that was what she was initially based off. And Ninjetta was, and there's my friend Dan doing a color test on her there. And hold on, I'm trying to find a. Where is it? Oh, come on, where is it? I can see though. I've got so many drawings done, so many. Here it is. Ninjetta and another friend of mine's character named Tri-Spirit Warrior versus against that Demetria. Let me show it again. Demetria on the right, but when she's gone more monstrous. This is during her final battle.
So, what were these characters' intended purpose? Were you like me? Were you playing these characters in a game? Was it?
Oh no, actually, believe it or not, it was all inspired by. I don't know if you've ever heard of the guy, Bleed Man.
No.
We did a bunch of Powerpuff Girl Dojins, comics where it would cross over with other characters. And I already was doing fan fiction time. I thought, I want to do something like that, having all these cartoon characters intersect. But as it went on, I started making new characters. And until I realized, I got my own world here. All I have to do is replace the fan fiction characters with close enough, but not enough to get sued, versions.
Well, this is sort of where I'm going with the conversation, right? Because, going back to what I was touching upon earlier, what you have here is a series of awesome reference material that you can now give to whoever's going to draw your book and say, here is what they look like. And here's a bunch of different versions. You have like basically all the material now for your characters to really, get started.
Really shine, yeah.
So, and for a guy who's already written a ton of fan fiction, right? Writing a comic book script is going to be a walk in the park for you.
Yep, exactly.
The hardest part is going to be like keeping it down to 24 pages.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, here's another character, a white
Well,
cat.
I mean, even then, you're not limited. I mean, it's your creation, right? 24 pages is just what a standard floppy is. We've seen books, obviously.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna probably do bigger than that. I was thinking like something like an 80-page anthology.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you not to do that.
Yeah,
not anthology.
not right away.
No.
Not right away. Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, my thing is, of course, I'm kind of the whole idea of some of these characters have a certain set point on when they're supposed to be introduced.
Yeah, but you're going to do that just like they do it in comic books, right? You're going to release that as your story progresses. When's the right time? Like here's the problem with like doing an 80-page book for your first time out.
Right.
One, it's going to be god awful expensive.
True.
Okay.
Yep.
Like you're going to pay through the nose for that thing. Two, it's going to take you like 3 years to get it done.
True, very true. That is very true.
Like,
unless I get stuff done before I start, because here's the other alternative I was thinking of doing it as a bit of a web comic or web thing, and then compiling them.
Sure. Well, I mean, that's the idea, but I mean, obviously, you're probably not going to be one drawing this book, right?
Nope, I cannot draw to save my life.
So, I mean, let me run through the steps with you, right?
All right. Well, before we do, I want to show off another group of kids. These are all originals. They're called the Redeemers. Well, 99% original. The one girl in the back right is technically Box Lunch from Danny Phantom, but I could just tweak that around. But yeah, now these characters are all loosely based off of the Runaways, but it's more like, what if the Runaways actually became more superheroic?
Cool.
Yep.
By the way, we have a whole.
Yep.
Go ahead, Max.
You got a whole slew.
Yeah, he's got a ton of stuff here. And this is what I'm saying. Like, now's the time. If you were ever going to do this, this is when you should be doing it, right?
Right.
Because again, you've already collected years of worth of material. You got experience in writing. You're probably the only obstacle, and it's always the biggest obstacle with every creator, right? Especially when you're first coming out of the gate, is money.
Oh, big time, especially with how things are currently, and I just live paycheck to paycheck. Like my house here, got it a couple of years ago. It was, it's a small one floor and all that, but even then, now a good half my paycheck goes right into the mortgage.
Yeah, no, for sure, bills to pay, brother. And that's where crowdfunding sort of comes in and helps you out a little bit. But I'm going to tell you.
Yep.
You can't just rely on crowdfunding to
obviously.
A lot, man, is going to come out of pocket, especially when you get the initial ball rolling. Because you mentioned something I want to touch upon as well, is that you want to have some of the book done before you launch, which is absolutely a stellar idea. I encourage as much you can get done as possible before you launch. Because let's say you did an 80-page book, right?
Right.
And you got the first 5 pages done, and maybe you got a couple of covers, and you launch on Kickstarter. And you find an artist, and let's say halfway through,
the artist craps out like a certain recent.
Just life happens. Maybe he's in an accident. Maybe something happens. You don't have an artist. Book is delayed now. You got to find a new artist. You know what I mean?
And do you have to wonder? Do you have them start over from scratch, or do you have them? Or do you write an in-story reason to why the story arc changed, or do you just go along with it?
So I mean, there's a whole slew of examples I can give you, but basically, the shorter the book, right, especially the first time out, sort of like the less problems you're going to run into.
Right. That's true.
And the idea is like you just did like a standard floppy book, just like chapter 1 or chapter 0, whatever it's going to be, right? It's also going to give you a taste of people are actually even interested in what you're offering. So instead of putting, your entire life savings or something into an 80-page book, it's going to be a lot cheaper to do a shorter book, and it's still going to allow you to test the waters and have something cool.
Right. Well, one other alternative I was thinking of was doing more of a sampler book where it has it shows each of the characters, but make it very clear these aren't going to all be introduced at once, but I want you to see at least what I have in mind for these characters.
Yeah, and something like that I would release online.
Right.
And put that on your social media.
Here's another character, Emerald.
That's cool. I like the greens.
Yep. And I've had her drawn by Jamal Eigel, Jay Fosgett, Tom Zeller. Hold on.
I like that one.
Yep.
You should get Joel Souza to do some of your stuff.
Well, you hit us up a little later. We can give you a long list of
I like that. I like that. Oh, with my friend with his coloring, this is one of the other Redeemers. Her name's Minerva.
Sweet.
Yep, and then there's Abby, and that's her human form, and here's her alien form. Or here's a better one of her alien form.
Superman.
Superpowers.
Yep. Yeah. Well, she's just wearing the shirt. Oh, another person who did Emerald, Agnes Garbowska. Love her artwork.
Yeah, that's cool. I like the color.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I've had my friend. He is very good, but the problem is, I mean, heck, here's some examples of him doing a comic. This is just partway through one of our stories.
Right. So you're not going to want to do this.
Right. I'm just saying this is in general what is doing, showing that he can do the sequential stuff, but not what we be putting in right away.
So in the chat, by the way, we have BM, who is Bianca.
Yeah, Bianca. Yep.
She wants to know who Max is. Max, who are you? Who are you? Who's your daddy, and what do you do?
I am Max DeVille. I operate Atrocity Press. So we put out books like Mary Machine Gun, Human Hunters, Neo Tokyo, stuff like that. We've got 6 books coming out this year. And
wow.
So yeah, no joke, brother.
Should be a good time.
Yep. By the way, Bianca's saying that Nerdette emailed you. I believe you're aware of that, aren't you? I think you told me that also.
Yeah, I saw that about an hour ago. I haven't reached back to her yet, but I mean, I'm definitely going to take her up on her offer. So
right.
So if she's wondering, you can pass that on.
Yep. If she's wondering, just pass it right on. But here's one of my my collaborator Dan's more recent, not the most recent, but closer to recent. This is some of the kids from the My Ninjetta stuff. In the middle, that's Chloe, that's Ninjetta. To the left is her friend Xander, and to the right is her friend Sydney, who is White Cat.
Beautiful.
Yep, and I really want to keep him involved. Because one of the things he's good at is vehicles. He is very good at drawing cars and all that.
Well, that's a strength, right? Because here's the other thing you're gonna run into. You're gonna find artists who might they might be able to draw you the most gorgeous looking girl ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like really good at maybe like drawing the human figure. But then when it comes time to draw a vehicle, a car,
they might put too much detail.
No, sometimes they just can't do it. Oh. Right? Like I had one girl who was going to work on Nyobi doing it manga style, and she could draw all the cute little manga characters, no problem.
Oh, and he's good at the backgrounds. Look at this.
There was a scene with the motorbike, and she couldn't draw the bike for the life of her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Did she not have a reference?
Yeah, but she just couldn't draw it. She just couldn't wrap. She was just so used to drawing people that she never really drew backgrounds and vehicles.
Boy, how can she? I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm just going to say, how is she to do a comic book if she couldn't do the other stuff beyond people?
Well, this is it, though. This is what you got to watch out for when hunting for an artist to do your book, right? Because a lot of people are going to submit some gorgeous-looking artwork, but they're not really showing. All they're showing you is their strengths and not showing you their weaknesses. You know?
Oh yeah, but with my friend, with my friend Dan, he can, as you can see, he could do backgrounds, he could do vehicles, he could do people.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, there's another good one I had. Just a moment, let me find it. Oh yeah, here it is.
Now you see, he still needs work. I'm going to be.
Oh no, this is one of his earliest ones. This was one of his over like a decade ago.
If I'm going to critique this piece for a second, though, right?
Right.
I'm going to give you the good and the bad.
Right.
I'll give you the bad first. The leg looks off, right?
Oh, I see. He told me that before or afterwards when he's looked back at his old artwork.
But I'm going to give you the good now. The good is he's playing around with perspective. The good is he's playing around with dimensions. You know what I mean? He's trying to do the whole foreshortening angle. He's trying to be dynamic, and that is a good thing. Yep.
He's always trying. He's always trying.
And it's got stuff coming out towards the edge of the frame.
Oh, yep.
Towards the things off her arms.
Yep. That's her. Well. Those are her grappling gauntlets.
Yeah, that works really well. Makes it more dynamic.
And this one, I do like this one. Very anime and yet very Western.
Yeah, no, it's got a nice little blend of both there.
Yep. Oh yeah, like I said before, it was Jewel. Here's his drawing of Jewel as an adult the first time, but then he later did a later drawing. Definitely different.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, he's come up with so many other characters and all that. Heck, one time, do I have it with me?
Product placement.
he even did a gender bent version just to see how it was drawing them.
You gotta have fun with it.
Yep. Yep, definitely. Oh, one more. There's a case of him doing a real big crowd shot. Let me find it. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, duh. Hold on. There it is. Oh, no. Now, this is all a lot of real, already established IP stuff, obviously, but just a general idea of him doing this.
That's pretty good.
Yep. Oh, here's another thing. With back to that other guy, Desikim, who was another guy who would like to do artwork. But yeah, he's the kind of guy, he can do backgrounds, but when he charges you commissions, it's cheaper to not do backgrounds. So that's why there aren't any. He can do it. I was just being cheap.
Yeah, no, for sure. This is good. Who did this?
This is Desikim again. That's Jenny, but in a different form. There's Jewel as a teenager. There's Jewel as an adult with her own daughter as a teenager. And then there's Jenny, Jewel, and her daughter now as an adult with Jewel's granddaughter.
Now, the one thing I noticed, like, she's not putting in any backgrounds, but, the
He isn't,
yeah. But the manga-looking figures are great. The colors are good,
Yep. Like I said, it was my own choice not to do backgrounds. If I could, I would have. Same guy. This was his earlier work. So he's come a long way.
Oh yeah, it's got the Danny Phantom stuff and.
Yep. Here's a different artist. The guy who did this drawing initially also did this one.
Yeah, it's a nice.
This is supposed to be like a teaser poster. That Desikim again. He did this. Now, you guys ever seen Legend of Korra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Asami as Iron Mistress, but I specifically asked for this type of dynamic. So yeah, just have him try to do it like that. Obviously going the extra mile with that. So yeah, that's a lot of what I've done over the years, and just like I said, I got so many ideas up here in my head, but I always make it clear, even if I have the ideas in my head, a lot of them are more planned out. If I actually start writing them and things go a different direction, I will forgo all of those plans, even if it means throwing out years of work.
And it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
It is definitely going to happen.
You might start a story with one idea in mind, and as you sort of go through it and progress with it, you're going to go, oh, you know what, maybe this doesn't make so much sense, or I want to change this, or I'm going to tweak this up, and it ends up becoming, more often than not, something different than you had initially, anticipated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here, let me show you a couple. I got
right. All right. I'm already done showing my stuff, so.
Boom.
Oh, nice.
That's done by Colette Turner. She's worked a lot with Coffin Comics, stuff with Zenoscope.
Yep.
She's been around, but here's probably her best one that she did.
Oh, nice.
And everything that's purple sparkles. You can't really see it, but she put all these little sparkles in it, right?
Nice.
So it's like glitter, what I
mean? And how much, I got to ask, how much do they charge you for that? Because I can tell you all the prices I've had for my stuff.
I can't remember, but I want to say it's probably in the round of about 100. You know what I mean?
Around 100. I've had a couple of mine that were 100. Yeah.
And that's full color. And her going the extra mile. But on top of that, though, she was living in the city at the time, so we were friends, and so of course I would get the sort of the friend discount. How do I share screen on this? I never used
look, okay, if you look at the bottom, you see the mic, the camera, the middle screen is share screen. You click on you click on that, it'll come on the left side, and then I will add it in.
All right, let me see what we can do here. Share screen.
What's that noise in the background?
That's Max's bong.
No,
nice.
Home machine.
So, this design here was basically what gave Nyobi her comic book look. I had a whole bunch of Nyobi outfits and stuff drawn her myself. But this was done by Danica Bryan, who is the girlfriend of Nick Bradshaw, who's a Marvel artist.
Oh, yeah, I know who Nick Bradshaw is. Love his work.
Right. So
very much a new age Art Adams.
He is. Yeah, he's got that Art Adams. He actually lives in the city, right? So we have easy, we've had easy access to Nick for years. But his girlfriend's also an artist. And she did that, and so that sort of set the stage for Nyobi's look for the comic books. This is just an old page from way back in #2 when someone wanted to color it. But this is a riot.
Oh! Funny enough, I got a couple of pony images too.
Oh, here we go.
Hold on, let me look.
So this was done by Brenda Hickey. She worked on My.
I know about Brenda Hickey. Yep, I know about Brenda Hickey. Yep.
IDW and all that stuff. So she did Nyobi pony style. Like she even put like the little I forget what this is called, the pony mark, the
cutie mark.
The cutie mark, right? She even put the cutie mark with like the symbol from her leather jacket on and shit.
Yep. Man. Oh, hold on. Give me a moment. I've actually had Andy Price do one. Hold on. And he even gave a cutie mark too. Hold on.
Yeah, it's a riot, brother. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep, there's the cutie mark. Hold on, I got a couple others. Hold on, which one?
So while you're doing that, Dominic Powell asks, any news on Nyobi? All kinds of news, brother. What do you want to know?
Yeah, go right ahead.
I mean, are you asking about the Kickstarter or what we're going to do in 2022 or what's happening with Antarctic Press? But there's all kinds of news, you know.
Andy Price again doing my Emerald character.
When does Origins ship?
Yeah, when does Origins?
January.
Yep. Well, what do you think about that one?
No. Yeah, you know, I'm not like a big pony guy or anything.
Right.
So,
Tony Fleece did this one.
But you know, when Brenda did the Nyobi pony, it was just like she came into our city for a signing at the local comic book shop, sort of thing, right?
Right.
Her and her husband Troy Little, who does Powerpuff Girls and stuff. Right?
Oh yeah.
And so I was working at the comic shop.
Ooh, nice, right away.
Right, and so I just, you know, for shits and giggles, basically just asked Brenda to draw Nyobi pony style, and she did. You know what I mean? Like,
yep. Oh yeah. Oh, I know exactly what you mean. But nice.
Well, okay. This was me and two other Spideys doing a very poor. I was Hooded Spidey. That was my alter ego at this convention. Then we had
wait. Which one? Left or right?
I'm the guy in the leather jacket, man.
Oh, the leather one. Okay, because there's two hooded.
There is two hooded.
What's happening for Dominic? What's happening for 2022? I didn't know you were involved with Antarctic Press. Is that a new deal?
Sort of. Basically, with the Antarctic Press, I submitted Nyobi Birthright to them for anthology comic book series they do called Exciting Comics. Okay.
Right.
In fact, I got something to show you. This is
okay.
Cool.
Sure. Okay. Hold on.
Yeah, we're going to be flipping around a little bit, brother. You know what I mean?
Yep. No problem.
You can get this like next week at your local comic shop.
Oh,
there
nice!
It is in the preview magazine. Right
nice.
There. Are you sure?
Let me tell you something, brother. It is a dream come true to see my creation in like this book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. And it feels like if there's one company I would do it, Antarctic Press is one of the ones I would want to go through.
So basically what Exciting Comics is a continuation of the Golden Age series that used to exist way back.
Right.
Exciting Comics. Ben Dunn ended up getting a hold of Exciting Comics and put out his own version of it.
Right.
So basically in every book there's 3 different stories, and then they divide amongst a series of parts. So Nyobi's stories actually spread amongst 4 issues of Exciting Comics. It sold well, and they said, hey, you want to put out more? And I'm like, yeah, we'll put out more underneath Nyobi's own title, though, right? So basically, what's going to happen is Nyobi's going to come out to Antarctic Press in comic book shelves in the series of one-shots and mini-series.
Wow. And who? And with the artists, like what artists?
Right now, we have Juan Antonio Altaveras, a great artist out of Mexico, and Dan O'Vera doing colors. Both these guys are pros. They've been in the industry. They all worked for Action Lab Comics. They were doing
Action Lab, yeah.
Yeah, they were doing a run on Puppet Masters, so horror movie fans.
Oh, nice.
So they already worked together, so they're a well-oiled team. You know what I mean? And so those are the guys. I'll show you some sample pages here.
Actually, that's one thing about my friend Dan. He's also done what he's called Summer Hurry Your Ass Up drawings of a lot of the girls in bikinis and basic suits.
Well, I'll tell you. Listen, man, you're gonna see a lot of sexiness through me and Max.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I'll tell you why. I mean, our influence, I shouldn't even speak for Max. My influence comes from Bad Girl Comics of the 90s.
Yep.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? This is what this is all about, right? So, like, have you ever read, Witchblade?
Oh, yep, Witchblade, yep.
Evangeline.
A lot of the 90s type of stuff, yeah, with the main girl leads, yeah.
Yeah, Dark Child, all that sort of Lady Death, Purgatory, you know what I mean? Vampirilla, you name it, right? Nyobi is an influence of all that. Like, Nyobi would be the type of book that maybe Top Cow would have liked to have produced back in the day.
Oh, nice.
So that's the deal, right?
Well, with mine is trying to go, at least for my Ninja. Well, okay, with the Redeemers, it's a bit, like I said, Runaways if they were actually superheroes, or Runaways if they weren't such brats.
Right.
Stuff like that. But I also have, basically, I eventually plan on having this big group of heroes called the League of Oddities, or Odd Heroes, or something along those lines. But the funny thing about Mito is, like I mentioned before, how Crisis on Infinite Earth was one of my first books I read. Those are great all that is beautiful.
Yeah, I'm just kind of flipping through it to get to the really good stuff here.
Oh, really? But when I'm thinking my stuff, first of all, I already have in my head how I would do it as a comic book, as a audio, as a web series, as a TV series, as live animation, live action. I have it all in my head how I would handle each of those. Oh, that is cute.
Yeah, there's some good ones in here.
Yep, I've had Art Baltazar and Franco do some drawing on my characters.
Couple of
her Hun Optimus. Up in here,
that's the Powerpuff one.
Yep, I don't think you showed it. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, this is done by Ashley Marie Witter. She's worked a lot for Marvel. She's done a lot of X-23 covers, stuff like that.
Yes.
And she's got her own book called Squarriors. That was a $60 piece. That was a steal, man. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And
I bet. Trust me, I've had a couple that are complete steals too. I mean, heck, that Ron Friends one. And Max didn't see it, so I'll re-show it. Hold on. Because, you should check it out, Max. Because that was one of my first ones, and it is one of my best ones. Where's...
This here is done by Zenoscope legend Paul Green.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is hanging on my wall right over there.
Nice.
And after he did this personal commission for me, because this is just personal, I then kind of messaged.
Yep. Oh, sorry. There she is, Max. That's by Ron Friends. And to make it clear, you probably guess one of the other influencers, given her pose, is Spider Girl.
Yep.
Yep, that's exactly what I told him. I told him, go with Spider Girl. Go with Mayday. Sorry, I just wanted to show that.
Yeah, no worries.
I know what you mean. A lot of those great Zenoscope covers.
So we end up, contacting Paul Green, and we hired him, to do actual covers for us, This here actually is like one of the covers, but this is my new patch for my jean jacket.
Oh, nice.
Right, so this goes on the back of the jean jacket, like where my Metallica patch is.
Nice.
This was made by Scream for me. They're a company that makes a lot of custom patches. They do all like.
How do you get all these connections?
Dude.
How do you get these connections?
Dude, he just keeps bugging people and bugging people.
I just bugging people until they cave in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just love this shit out. Be like, man.
Oh, I got a good couple I've seen at conventions regularly who I'm pretty sure I could tap on, to help. Like Joe Brado, I've seen him at so many conventions that he could, I'm pretty sure I could get him to do stuff.
Check out this cover Paul did for us, man. Boom.
Oh, wow.
This is a cover for Birthright #2, colored by Ula Moss, who's colored work for Jamie Tyndall, J. Scott Campbell.
Jamie Tyndall. Oh, I've seen Jamie at so many conventions. He's always right next to him. Oh yeah, unfortunately, I've never had him draw something. I kind of wish I have.
Now check this one out. This one here is done by the Rags artists.
Yep, Rags. Yep.
And of course, there's Sailor Rags right there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So this was a variant that we had going on, brother. You know.
Yep. Now, okay, I gotta ask without naming names. Okay, I did say that I would avoid naming names. What do you think but without you naming names, why do you think it seems like so many people have gone into this habit of feeling like like we can delay everything, wait out? We don't who cares about the release period? Do you think it's from certain individuals, or do you think it's because it's a mixture of that and they just don't know what they're doing?
You mean with crowdfunded books?
It was crowdfunding books.
Okay, because if it's mainstream, that's a different.
Oh no, that's a different thing altogether. Yeah.
But I can tell you, in crowdfunding, it's a case-by-case situation. I think it's a lot of people doing it for the very first time that have no idea what they're jumping into.
Yep.
Okay, and then go, whoa, I'm in over my head, or I overspent my money. I didn't realize shipping was going to cost so much. I didn't realize it was going to be so much work, or maybe they end up getting screwed over. We said losing artists or something like that.
Oh yeah, I heard about Sasquatch Shinobi with that, all that going on
with Rob Willis and all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So and it's bad because what happens is when those things happen, right? Especially when they're sort of like high dollar campaigns that have a lot of eyes on it. Maybe this is like someone's first time backing a book, right?
Right.
And they back a book and they don't get the book for like 2 years. Maybe they don't get the book at all. Okay.
Exactly.
So what happens is they end up having a bad taste in their mouth about what crowdfunding is all about, and that makes the rest of us look bad.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
Here's the thing. Nyobi's been on time every time for 7 years straight.
Right.
And I'm just a guy in Canada, right?
Exactly.
We do modest level campaigns, and we get the job done,
Oh, yeah. So, and then you have people like Tim Lim, too. Look what he's done. Like, how many books in a year, great quality, great price, and it's proven you don't need to wait. Because here's my opinion on some of them. I'm not going to name names, but I think you know which ones I'm talking about. Some of the people out there who feel they can sit and wait are the ones who rely on the whales, the ones who they know are going to throw money at them no matter what. Would you agree? Some people are like that. Not all, but some like big name people.
Well, okay. I mean, I'm
avoiding names.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Let's talk about Cyberfrog. Let's talk about Cyber. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's the biggest name of all. If you want to go on that side of the aisle,
right?
He is working on his stuff. It's taking him forever. But you know what? I've watched a couple of his drawing streams lately. And when you look at the meticulous detail that he's showing in each and every page, it's no wonder it's taking him that long.
Oh yeah.
Like it's mind blowing, right?
Right.
Like he'll sit there in the morning and do his little drawing stream for like 3 or 4 hours, and I'm just watching him like do this like tree bush, and he's like drawing every single little leaf, and it's what I mean? It's perfect, and
Oh right.
So that's his reason, and his other reason is he streams a lot, and he's got a lot of other things going on. So there's lots of different things attacking his time, right?
That's true.
But if you are going to be late, at least do what he's doing and show the people that they are going to get their product. It may not be when they thought, but we're still working on it. It's getting done. We're not going to take your money and run.
Yeah.
Because that's happened, right?
I can understand that. I mean, I'll be honest. Cannot think of any of the comic ones coming to mind, but I've seen other crowdfunding. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Kick Scammer videos that DJ Slopes has done. So I've seen some of those where you're like, oh boy.
I'm unfamiliar with these. I'm gonna have to check these
out. Yeah, they're awesome.
Oh, they are awesome, and he actually did bring up when he did a more monthly like talk news stuff. He did bring about what happened with Mike Miller when someone else went to Kickstarter under his name and tried to do it, and Kickstarter weren't going to drop it at first until they eventually did.
So I mean, you've opened up a whole new can of worms in a conversation there. So when we talk about crowdfunding, we might as well just shift the conversation to that, okay?
Right. Well, the reason why I was bringing up with Ethan was I want to bring up was Rainbow Brute. That thing was already said it was supposed to be released by now, and you know that's not going to be for another who knows how many years.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a while. I mean,
and that's why this feel.
And that goes back to the advice I gave you a little earlier, actually, which is don't take on too much.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He took on too much. He had all these grand ideas, made campaigns for them, and then go, oh fuck, you know, it's taking me forever to get this done, and then I have this, and this still waiting to be done.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You don't want that problem. You know?
Oh yeah.
Max is ready to say something.
Yep, go right ahead.
Have a script, that'll help.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, to be fair, he's not writing Rainbow Brute at least. That's
Well, he's not even writing Cyberfrog, right?
Oh, he isn't?
No, he just does it as he goes along.
I did not know.
Well, he is writing it in a sense, like he's making up the story as he draws it.
Right. That explains a lot.
That's why it's taken forever, though, because he keeps adding to it, right? When you have a script, then you're within the confines of the script. You know what you got to draw, how long it's going to be exactly, okay? But he's sort of just making it up as he goes.
And now he's happy. Now he just said in an update saying, I was going to do more pages, but I'm going to just shove it to the next book because this is going unsayed.
Right. So, I mean, but that's sort of the problem with not having a script is that you keep changing things. You keep adding
Exactly.
things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't want to fall in that trap, right? You know.
I don't.
And Ethan should know better because he's done this for 25 years. He knows what it's like to get
a
script and work off a script. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But,
which is probably why he's doing that with Rainbow Brute, I think. I think that's why he's doing it with Brute. You know, he's going to have, again, what's his name? The guy who's always wearing that mask and the red hat. Cecil. Cecil is writing that.
Cecil's writing? Oh, my God.
Rainbow Brute. I know. I don't know what to expect from it. I'm not going to be getting that. I have not put money down for it. And I'll be honest, I didn't feel too burned to do another Cyberfrog. I felt I was going to stick to Cyberfrog. No. And when it came to stuff like your boy Zach, I'm just sticking to Jawbreakers. Only Jawbreaker books, unfortunately, because I got burned by some of the other ones, like the Pandemic. It's like you rushed that out just to make it timely, you know. But
I want to ask you some questions, sir.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
All right. So it sounds like from the books that you backed, they're CG books and they're Indiegogo books.
Not all of them are CG. In fact, most of mine have been the non-CG.
Like here's my question though. Like I want to know what sort of other books you've been backing. Like, do you back off a Kickstarter, or has it been just solely Indiegogo?
A bit of both. It depends on where they're at. It depends on I'm able to put the money down and know for certain I'll be able to back it when the time's up on Kickstarter. It all depends on a bunch of factors, but I'm just looking at my stack right now. But
go grab the stack, man.
Yep. Hold on. Yep.
Let's see what he's got, ladies and gentlemen. I am joined here by Max DeVille. Max, how are you tonight?
I'm good. What's up?
Brother, we are sitting here with Robert Willing. We're willing to get it done tonight. You know, we have lots of sexy people in the chat, man. Good to see BM. Good to see Dominic. Good to see Hominus.
Noctura.
Yeah, well, Phil Leon is here. Phil Leon, colorist extraordinaire.
I got a lot, but technically this one wasn't this was crowdfunded, but I got it by the author after the fact. But I put it in here because it was originally crowdfunded.
Now, full screen yourself so we can all get a good look.
Yep. Hold on. Oh no, that's not it.
Because I'm curious to see what you.
Oh.
Hey, everybody! So we got Molly Danger. I've never seen this one before.
By Jamal Eigel. Yeah, this one, now, like I said, I got this one after the fact. This was not, I never backed the crowdfunding, but he was still giving them out, so I still counted in there because it was a crowdfunding.
Oh, you got a nice little, remark drawing in there, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Just great artwork. He does what he does best, but he actually had things planned out. He knew where he's going with the story, and as you can tell, it's very story-driven.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, like I said, it's not action-driven. No, it's very story-driven.
You can tell almost by the amount of panels he's got on each page.
Exactly, and how it's, again, mostly character interaction. And I think that helps out with Jamal. He's not the type of guy who's done, like, he's great at doing action, but that's not always been, like, what he wants to do. He's a character artist.
What do we have next, sir?
Oh, yeah. Next we have...
We'll keep it flowing, you know what I mean?
Yep.
See, Bigfoot Bill. Pineapple. There you go.
Yep, and the other one. And
I gotta tell you, I never backed it, but a buddy of mine had backed it, and he brought it over to my house. I gotta tell you something with Doug Tenaple. He put together a goddamn good product.
And this is what kind of set my standard for bang for your buck. Because here's the thing. At the same time I got Cyberfrog #2, I had put down money for the Bigfoot Bill 2, which included this. Because it includes, it's a deluxe edition.
Yeah, well, that's the one I saw was the dark cover one, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you have 2 of these, about each over 100 pages each, roughly for the same amount I paid for the Cyberfrog and the copy, or the secondary book. $60. $60 for this. Came out a lot sooner, and I'm still waiting on the other one. Yeah, but that's when it became... Sorry?
You mentioned Tim Lim. He did something similar, like hardcover books for like $10 a piece.
Actually, funny you say that.
Yeah, there you go. Space Force.
Oh my! Now these 2 were from Iconic Comics and Comics, of course, but still.
Yeah, so that's Doug Ernest's company, Iconic Comics.
Yep, and then all the rest of there, including Soul Finder. 1 and 2. Hold on. Oh, speaking of with Cyberfrog. Hold on. Okay, do I got them all? Yep, got them all. And yes, I did even back these ones as well, but I'll be honest, these were one of the ones that kind of I felt a little burned on.
Why did you feel burned?
It felt like this is the coloring. The coloring looks very messy, very much like not what I was expecting from.
Can we see what it looks like?
Well, first, you're well aware how the cover looked on regular Cyberfrog, right?
Yeah.
Very gorgeous. The ones on here, though, are, hold on.
Now, these are the reprints of the older stories, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know if it's because he used a lot of heavy inks by comparison, but it just felt same colorist.
So Kyle Ritter.
Still Kyle Ritter, but you see what I mean, though? The coloring just looks not as,
Yeah.
It looks a little muddy.
Exactly. That's why I felt a bit burned on. I felt like I could have saved up money and got the whole Warts and All thing instead, but because this kind of put me back a little bit, and I got these because it was going to be all black and white in the Warts and All.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you another question, right? Mm-hmm. Because, again, we look behind you, we see the mountain of trades, the mountain of omnibuses. We know that, you're a longtime comic book fan of the mainstream, Marvel, DC, what have you. What led you into backing crowdfunded books?
What led me into that? It was a bit of getting, I'd have to say, I was nosing some of the problems with comics. I openly admit that. As it was going on, I never fully joined Comicsgate. I never did. I always stayed a foot outside of it. Had friends that were affiliated with it, etc., but I never fully joined. So I kept an eye on everyone and everything. And then eventually, once they started doing the crowdfunding books, like Jawbreakers, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to throw my money in. I feel this looks...
Jawbreakers your first crowdfunded book?
Yes, it was. I got that down here somewhere, but I'll get to that in a moment. But yes, it was.
I think Jawbreakers or Cyberfrog was probably a lot of people's first.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, no, it was Jawbreakers because that was before it.
Yeah, that was before, yeah.
Also, I got to say, one of the few people in CG, I am guaranteed to buy almost everything they've done. It's not John Malin. It's oh jeez, I'm trying to get his name. Mark Polton.
I need to ask you another question now.
Yep.
So you go for Jawbreakers. It's your first crowdfunded book because you see your boy Zach and you like what Zach's got to say.
Well,
right?
I liked some of what he had to say.
Okay.
It was
okay. I'll just continue on.
Yep.
So it may not be this will fit you in particular, but this is going to fit a lot of people, right?
Right.
And so, Zach, of course, was infamous for making videos critiquing the mainstream, right?
Oh, yeah.
And, the whole thing was Zach was going to put out his book and compete with the mainstream. It was supposed to be on shelves. In fact, it was supposed to be printed by Antarctic Press until Mark Wade ruined that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we all know that story, right? My question is, did Zach put his money where his mouth is? In fact, did he, when you read Jawbreakers, did he deliver a comic?
Yes, on Jawbreakers. On Jawbreakers, yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Better than the stuff you were reading in the mainstream?
No, it was not. But it was in a way, in the type of tier of comics I would be buying. That I'm like, I'll buy the next one. You know what I mean? It was like one of those ones where I would get it. I would read it. Now, I should point out, I got a second one because the one I got, this was one, and the first one I had one of those printing errors. Very smudged, kind of like a 3D effect. I told him it, and he sent me a new one free, which I applaud him for. That's one of the things I always applaud Zach for, or Rich for. But yeah, it was one of those things where it's it wasn't better than what I've been reading, but it made me intrigued. You get what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big thing. It's enough for me, I want to see what happens next.
Okay, well, that's. I mean, if it makes you want more, then he did his job.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean?
Now I will say this though: his first Iron Sights I liked, and it felt like he knew what he was writing. He had revised the script and everything. The second one is when I started seeing the problems.
And what sort of problems were you seeing?
It felt like he didn't know where he was going to take it. And then he started coming with so many different characters that were completely needless. He takes his lead character from that survived the first, the two of the characters that survived the first one. The girl ends up becoming a big monstrous bitch that doesn't match with how her character was at the end of the first one. And the main guy, he's barely around there, and then he gets killed off haphazardly so the new hero could take over. No, seriously, he gets killed off so unceremoniously, and then he's just left there. It's just what was even the point? It just felt he didn't know where to go after the way he left it. So he said, I'm just going to come up with all these new characters and then eventually just move the one character aside and go in this different direction. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yep.
And I think that comes from not having the experience because,
Oh, yeah.
Because, as much as people like Zach, I mean, I don't think he had an extensive comic book writing history prior to these books. You know what I mean?
That's true. But I will say this, though, but a lot of the errors I saw in there were not in the second Jawbreakers. In fact, it told you that he had a plan. One bit I really like. And now this goes back to, now remember, technically he did two other books at the beginning. You remember? Back in the old days that get reprinted in here. Well, at least one of them gets reprinted. And then the second part is continued on by a different artist. But during the ending of the first part, this is what he wrote years ago, keep in mind. Mm-hmm. You see this point where their guns are turned to rose petals, and then he puts it in his pouch? That's paid off for in here, in a way that makes it clear he knew what he was doing. You know what I mean? We're basically to the point where the silkworm pulls out the gun, revealing, God King could, anything you get close to it, basically it was still the gun. So eventually pulls it out and shoots him and make it clear, Silkworm, like that. He had that plan from the very beginning. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those things where I'm like, okay, he does. When it comes to Jawbreakers, he's putting a lot more thought into this. But when it comes to Iron Sights, he had enough in him for the first one, not the second one. And then when it comes to Pandemic, no, he had. This is Mike and Rich when he's rushed.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you this, I actually had a talk with Rodriguez. Yep, I had a talk with the artist Rodriguez during in a DM. At one point, he actually admitted he was still getting pages from Rich, and one page at a time. And he admits Rich didn't know what he was going to do when he had that cover.
Well, that sounds like the wrong way to sort of do it, right? Like if you're submitting your artist page by page by page, and you're doing it as you write it, I wouldn't recommend that. Here's what I recommend, folks, if you're out there. Don't do that. Write your script and put it away for a week. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then come back to it. Because there's going to be things you're going to see that are obvious mistakes, spelling errors, grammar errors, whatever. And then there's just going to be things that you're going to want to modify and change. So go ahead and
Exactly.
modify and change it. And then guess what you do? You put it away again for another few days. And then you're going to take
Exactly.
it out again for the third time. And then you're going to modify it again. And hopefully after that third run, you got it where you need to be. If not, maybe you're doing a fourth or fifth. But whatever it is you got to do until it's perfected, right? You know,
Yep.
Then you submit it to your artist.
Yep. Now I will say this. I was one of those who was not disappointed by Expendables Goes to Hell.
That was a long delayed book. I'm glad that
long delayed, but when it came out, it was worth it.
I mean, I think that's one of the criticisms that Zach has to own is that some of these campaigns where, you know.
Yeah, too many delays. Now, this one's a random one-off one. This was Pistorella. Got it. It came in pretty well. It was it's a good one. I liked it.
I've never seen that one before.
Now, the artwork does not match the cover, but it's still not bad.
Okay, so this is another thing that we're gonna lecture on, Max, right? Max, you know where I'm going with this, right?
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh, I think I have an idea.
Here comes the speech. I would recommend that if a person is good enough to draw your interior art, then they are good enough to give you a cover. Okay.
Oh yeah.
If they're not good enough to draw your cover, then they shouldn't be drawing your book. With that being said, I would recommend that your cover A.
They did a cover. Actually, they actually did a cover. That was cover A. I got cover B.
Okay. So that's good. That's good because I thought maybe like.
Oh no, they did do a cover A, but I thought cover B was the better looking one.
Well, no, I mean, and that's what happens with variants, and it's nice to give people the choice to choose. But the thing about offering cover A with the original interior artist is it shows people that what is on the cover is what you're going to get in the inside.
Exactly. Yep. Another one I've got, and this one took forever to come. Wanpool.
I have that.
Yep.
Actually, that's from Josh, the amazing animator, who's been on my show a few times. Good guy, fellow.
I've talked with him. I have talked with him. I have not had him on. I've been wanting to. But I have talked to him. Oh, I'd love to. I would love to. I cannot wait for them to eventually do the third one.
Yeah. No, I have both. Yeah, he's a good cat.
Here's one that was the case because of the creative teams involved.
This I have as well.
Yep.
But I didn't get it through crowdfunding. I actually bought this one off the rack at the shelf.
Oh, really? Yeah, I got this through crowdfunding. Although I think, let me check if my name's even in. I saw Wanpool. Let me show it because you can't see it.
Oh, no, it's definitely real.
Yeah, it's definitely real.
Yeah, it's not a meme. It's real.
Yeah, it exists.
Yeah, my name's in this because I backed it right at the last second.
Yeah, so that's from Blake Northcott, of course.
Yep. Then, of course, there's T-Bear's Black and White, which I will be backing volume 2 just for completion's sake.
I got to tell you, when he announced that, I went to my local comic shop in the dollar bins, and I found the original Black and White comics for $1 each. So, of course, I scored them, right?
Now, did you compare things? Because if I understand right, isn't he completely redoing the artwork or something?
Well, I mean, I don't have the new ones. I just have the old ones. Yeah.
All right.
I can't tell you if it's how different it is.
Right. Now, of course, then there's Mike Miller's Lone Star.
So what did you think of that?
I actually like Lone Star, but I am not fond of the delays for the third one. And I'll be honest, unless it's going to be another Monster Hunt book, I'm probably not going to back another thing from him. Probably.
Well, I think he's too busy with the NFTs right now.
Yeah. I actually didn't mind the Meg. In fact, funny thing about this, I backed this just the one book, but I didn't back it with the little stuff from Steve Alton. I got it anyway.
There you go.
Then there's.
I noticed you say like there are a lot of things that you don't like.
I'm willing to complain.
It's delays.
Delays is the biggest one.
It's been consistent.
All right, so here we go. So what he's holding in his hand there, of course, is Antarctic. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not necessarily Antarctic Press. They're publishing it, but those are the trades for Punchline.
Yep.
Of course, done by the great Matt Weldon and Bill Williams.
Yep.
Now, what's really cool is Matt Weldon's done cover work for me. Which is awesome.
He's done a lot of stuff for Tim Lim, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Who said Blake Northcott?
I did.
Yeah, because I showed one of the books that she had done, Everglade Angels.
Now, here's the thing about like guys like Matt Weldon and say like Brian.
Oh, he is. From my understanding, he is fast with his artwork.
Oh, he is fast. But I didn't even know who they were, but I was already buying their books, right? And then I befriended them on Twitter, and then I got working with them. You know what I mean? It's just kind of cool that I was a fan of their work before I knew them on social media, because a lot of times it seems to be the other way around now. You know, you meet a creator and then you become a fan of their work. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I was just like walking into the comic shop, I'm like, oh, what's this? You know, and picked it up.
Oh yeah. Right? But yeah, I mean,
the whole thing, you know.
Now the funny thing about this though was I got put. Here's what I love best about it. I had put this down at the last second. And unfortunately, something fell through, and I never got the book because I did basically I did it the 11th hour right after it closed. I asked Bill, can I email you the funds? Sure, go ahead. Never got it. Eventually, I told him when he was working on this one, he said, you know what, dude, I feel bad. Let me know. Email me. I will make sure you did it for free. And in addition to the one I had done, and sure enough, I did get them.
Well, at least he hooked you up, man. That's good.
Oh yeah, because he gave me the other one because I waited so patiently. He decided I'll throw this one for free because you were waiting for so long for this one.
Yeah, brother. Yeah.
Now these last ones I've got are this one. I have to admit it was more for the big, bang for your buck, and I'll say this as well. Eric Weathers, he at least does not mind if I would rip into the artwork because he admits it's not that good.
Can we see? Open it up.
All right.
Yeah, all right. Max, fuck.
No, it does get better near the end.
Oh, yeah. Who drew that?
Eric Weathers himself, the guy who does a lot of the lettering. But again, it does get better near the end, as you saw in that one of the last pages.
Now, Eric Weathers is a letterer by.
Oh yeah. But that's what he did before he was doing lettering.
Okay.
Now this one I actually got as a review copy.
Now what's that?
Ukulele the Crackle Stone.
I've never seen this.
Oh, it is so good, and you can even get it for digital on Steam.
Do you get a lot of digital books?
No, not often. I'm a physical guy, type of book guy. But yeah, this is basically. He worked. I actually had him on my show. You can look for the interview.
Yeah, brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Product.
But yeah, then I have this one was one of those ones that was well worth the wait.
Okay. Tell me
why.
why.
Supposed to be supposed to be good.
Because the writing, the artwork, everything. Also, the thickness, the bang for your buck. You're noticing that's another thing with me. Bang for your buck is what I look for. But everything about this, it didn't end on a cliffhanger. It felt like a self-contained story. You know what I mean? It just felt it ends on a slight cliffhanger, but not like an unresolved cliffhanger. You know what I mean? It ended more on a cliffhanger of what
could continue.
Yeah, it could continue. It might not continue type of a cliffhanger. Yeah, well, the bad guy might come back.
Well, yeah, it's always nice to leave the door open a little bit,
And we had mentioned it earlier. Oh, wait. Hold on a second. I gotta check something. Oh, where is it? Is it the same person? No, not the same person. Never mind. But anyway, you have this, because we had mentioned that earlier. Oh, Shinobi Sasquatch versus Monster MD.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, brutal.
Yep. Then I also got this one you guys are a snicker at.
Orgasm Girl.
Never heard of
this. This is by Dan Fan. You ever heard of her?
No, man, no.
Good?
Oh yeah, she's a good YouTuber.
What's the inside?
Is the book any good?
Oh, it's fun. Basically, this girl, she's a boxer, and she has the ability to, for any man she touches, after she touches them and snaps her fingers, they orgasm.
Jesus.
Yep. And yeah, it's just one
chick.
Right?
Yeah, that's a superpower. Of course, it doesn't work on other ladies. But yeah, and then then I got these ones. I got once he did all 3 issues I could get.
Oh yeah, Jack Irons.
Yeah,
I love these ones. I love them. This was great.
BM says finally got Orgasm Girl. Yay!
Oh, you finally got it. Cool. Oh, this one took forever. But this one, he had a lot of behind-the-scenes issues that caused it.
First thing I think of course, is Invincible, and I see that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but he's more of a speedster, kind of.
Okay, yeah.
Now, the thing about this, though, it's almost all, except for the opening bit, it's almost all origin story. Like, we get an opening fight.
Right.
But most of it is the origin story until,
Think, Max, think.
Yes!
What?
The meme back from
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, now this one, I actually do like. I've kind of lost a lot of faith in the guy who, the creator, the YouTuber, but I love the work.
So this is Tug's book.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
I lost faith
there.
with. Yep. I lost.
Someone
Yep.
smashes in your mailbox there.
Oh, don't. But the reason why I lost faith in Tug is because of the fact that he knew. I've interacted with him so much, but then out of the blue, when they were bashing on Donny Cates, and yet I said, you know what? I don't like what the guy's saying, but I still am interested in his artwork. He's flat said to me, people like you are part of the problem.
Mm.
And he never apologized. And yeah, it just. Now this one, I'm good friends with the artist, Road Warrior Drake.
Right. So that's Asmat's book.
Yep, Plasma. Yep, and I gotta say, for what it is, knowing that by seeing him working on it, you could tell there's a lot of heart behind it, the artwork.
Yeah, no, we've had him on. We've talked about Road Warrior Drake before. Basically, a lot of like Eastman and Lara Turtle influence, essentially.
Oh, and I do see that. And like I said,
what you get out of that, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And which I do applaud him. Then there's
product placement.
Billy Tucci's sheet.
Yep.
Which
that's
I'll be honest,
that's some '90s bad girl stuff right there, brother. You know what I mean?
Now, I'll be honest, though. I will be honest. I was a little ticked off at the end of the first one because, much like around the same time I got Cyberfrog, cliffhanger. Like, wait, isn't that done in one?
You're gonna find out with my books then, because they're oftentimes I leave people on cliffhangers too, and the reason why we do that is so that they want to finish the story and come back for the next one. You know?
Oh yeah, nope. Perez and Amanda Connor doing covers.
Yeah.
Yep, but I will say though, I am willing to get the next one. You know, the one at the conclusion.
Yeah, BM says I stopped supporting Tug when he sent someone's porn when he said he was going to let the feud go. Well, revenge porn kind of sucks, doesn't it?
Oh, and then there's my last one, the Good Night.
Yeah, I don't know this one.
This one's by Crystal McGee. Great artwork.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
cool.
know the name Crystal McGee. So, just from what you're showing me, obviously you got a lot of CG books. I mean, it seems like 80% of those are CG books.
Yeah, 80% of those, but those were ones I bought in the earlier days, and even then, there's only like a handful that I will keep on supporting. Most of which
I'm going to ask a series of things here.
Go right ahead.
Did CG's line of books, everything you bought, meet or exceed your expectations?
Most of them did meet them. Did they exceed? Monster MD is one of the first, and Monster MD of the actual CG books, Monster MD is one of the ones that exceeded my expectations.
Did CG change the industry?
No. I will say, well, okay. Did CG itself change it? No. Did CG kind of lead the charge on a bunch of the crowdfunding books and kind of set the example for a lot of things? I'd say it made it more viable, yes. But
yeah, I mean, I'll give you a little bit of credibility there in the sense, like I think they put a lot of crowdfunding on the map and made a lot of noise, but crowdfunding was around long before.
It was long before him, but
they brought a lot of customers to crowdfunding.
True, but I think the idea of like Easton getting over like 1 million on Cyberfrog, which kind of wish he would stop. I mean, that's great praising it, but acting like, oh, see, we're out doing all the books. That's for one issue, he said. You know what I mean, right? How he keeps bringing that up. How, 1 million on that for one. Like, we make more than all these current books are making. No, by the amount of times it's taken Batman to get from when you last did Cyberfrog up to now, they've gone multiple millions.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is,
no, you get what I mean. I'm saying about when it keeps bringing it up. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, as far as like where you've been backing books and the type of books you've been getting,
Yep.
I would highly recommend, and I'm sure you've already been doing this, be dabbling outside of that, because there is so much good stuff on Kickstarter that I think. Because here's the argument I get all the time, right? Is that, well, we want good books, we don't want woke books, we don't want to be preached to, right? The whole enchilada, right? And and I'm with you. I understand. But when people have this misconception that when they go to Kickstarter, it's full of all these sort of woke left progressive books.
Now there are some. Bianca has done a video where she's showing a bunch of them. There's like a good couple of them that are like the ones on the front and center, way beyond woke. Bianca, you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
that's not the one she's talking. The one she has mentioned, that one I'm talking about. But Bianca, you know what I'm saying? In that particular, there was like that one. Yeah.
But I'll tell you. I mean, and you're right. They're there. I mean, if you want that stuff, it's there, and I think it should be there. I think everything deserves a spot on the shelf.
Oh, I agree.
My only problem came into when I was being attacked in 2014 and 15 by third wave feminists who thought Nyobi was too sexy and shouldn't be on the shelf because, I'm a misogynist piece of shit. You know what I mean?
The same people who wanted to see roided out She-Hulk for so long, and now is annoyed that she's gone back to being sexy, even though that's what's going to be in the Disney Plus show.
Right. So I mean, but Kickstarter has more than that. I mean, Kickstarter honestly is the home of, like, if you like, let's say you're a fan like me who really like the Bad Girl comics, you know what I mean? Then the Kickstarter is where you want to go, because I don't actually find that a lot of comic books that are along that genre do well on Indiegogo. There's a couple of exceptions, but for the most part, Brian Pulido of Lady Death is, much like Van Sciver sort of set the bar for Indiegogo. Brian Pulido, who's not woke at all, and if you ever read his book, you'll know that, has really set the standard and the meta for Kickstarter.
Oh, I would agree with that. And I think Jimmy Palmiotti helped out too with a lot of his crowdfunding. As far as
I'm going to show you some of the books I've gotten.
All right, well, let me put you on the front.
And I don't have as many, like,
right.
You know what I mean?
No,
I'm just going to show you what I happen to find around here.
Right.
I've
heard of that. I've heard of that one.
So this is Miss Meow from Kickstarter. Great book. This is Miss Meow #1 from Merc Magazine. Of course, gorgeous cover by Jamie Tindall. This is his property, right? You know what I mean?
Yep, that looks like a magazine cover.
Well, that's the whole idea. That's what they're supposed to look like.
Yep,
so
another one. Yep.
That's Miss Meow #2. We got the Mighty Mite from CB Zane.
I can barely make that out. Oh, I see it now. Nice.
So the Mighty Mite from ZB Zane. These weren't crowdfunded books, but these were sent to me by Brian Ball, the Sailor Rogoski. Okay.
Oh, I see was that Rags, his character in the back? The second one?
Well, both of them.
Oh, both of them. Right.
They're just variants, right?
Right.
And of course, this one I picked up at the shop, but it's still indie.
Oh, Common America. Yep, I got all of those.
Now, I'll tell you, I'm actually in issue #2.
Oh, really? Hold on. Where are you at?
I'm one of the soldiers that causes a problem. There's me and Tyler Carpenter, actually. We're only in 2 panels, but Tim's got us in there. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to remember which was it's near the end, right?
Yes, I think it is towards the end. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm actually drawn in the comic.
Right. I gotta say, this has been one of my gold standards. I'll be honest. All this. Ooh.
That's more Mighty Mite. That's a Keith Darwin cover. That's
nice.
Then of course we got our usual Lady Death sort of stuff.
Lady Death. Right? Bing bong.
And then we got from Molly Schofield. We got Minx.
Ooh, I've heard about Minx. Again, a bunch of these I heard about, they didn't catch my interest. That's the thing with me. Online stuff, and this is a lot of these stuff I did, like initially when I did them, I backed them because they were people I knew or was aware of or aware of their work. But as time's gone on, and again, it's thanks to people like Tim Lim and Doug Tenapel setting that where I go for 1, does it catch my interest? And 2, do I get enough bang for my buck?
I mean, while we're still on, I'm just gonna. These were my cover A's for my own book, right, for Nyobi.
Oh, nice.
So this is Birthright 1 and Birthright 2. So if what you saw on the cover is what you got on the inside, right?
Right.
And for those who've never seen a Nyobi comic book before, I'm going to show you.
Yep, show it off. Show it off.
This is number 2. I thought I had number 1 in my hand, but of course, look at the cover, right? So beautiful
artwork. Oh, wow. That is such a
Samara,
90s cover in the best way.
Right? Colors by Dan the Man Overa, and it's equally as good on the inside. You know, we have...
what I would love to get some of those. Yeah. Yes, nice. Right? That is such a professional work. Yes, that looks so good.
We're not going to show everything, but we'll show some of the cool stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And this is a heavy book, man. This book's about abortion. And there's a lot of political and religious tones in here. And here's the thing that people are going to say, right?
Get your politics out of my books.
But the thing is that, like, when you read this book, if you don't walk away thinking that was like fucking Chris Claremont's X-Men, then I don't know what to tell you, because there is politics in this book. There is religion in this book. But I'm going to tell you how it's done. You do it in a non-biased manner. Okay?
And you do what how Perch put it, the evergreen politics.
I'm going to tell you the basic premise of this story. Nyobi, I've written her as pro-choice. This angel character, right, is pro-life.
For obvious reasons, she's an angel.
Right? She was sent by the Vatican to go help take care of this issue with this baby being born with wings. She thinks it's a future angel. She like legit believes she's a fucking angel. She's crazy, okay?
So she's like a super who is convinced she's an angel even though she's really not?
Correct. That product placement. That's correct. Now the problem is that they go to help this young woman to make some decisions in her life. She's going to be basically given born to a mutant. We call them genomes, genetic anomalies. Right. And so Niobe's there to help her out because there's a big protest in front of her house and a bunch of shit's going down. Of course, Ariel wants her to keep the baby and thinks it's going to be a future angel. So basically what happens is these two get to throwing blows, okay, over their own personal agendas.
Exactly. That's exactly how you do it. That's exactly how you do it.
And what ends up happening is someone pays the price because of their fucking egos are out of control. And it's the girl who's pregnant and she ends up dying because of it.
Oh, no.
Because they weren't there when she needed them. And instead of helping out the individual that
like they were supposed to,
they were too busy fighting amongst themselves for their own fucking narratives.
That is exactly how you do it. That is exactly how you do it. You basically say both sides have a point, but both sides screwed up big time. Oh, dude, what I would get to get that book, what I would give to get a copy of that.
Look, there's the result of their fucking arrogance.
Yeah. What I would give to get a copy of that, dude. Oh. Again, I've been aware of this books, but now that I've seen these, I'm like, why haven't I been back in these?
Because we've been on. Well, I mean, we've been on Indiegogo, but our Indiegogo campaigns, don't do as well as they do on Kickstarter. Our last Kickstarter did 24,000. The last time I was on Indiegogo, it did 4,000.
Exactly. And I'm one of those who would feel like do it on both, do it on one and one on the other, not at the same time, but do like what Tim Lim and the others have done.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Tim Lim and Brian Ball and Matt, all these guys.
And Billy Tucci as well.
Well, but those three in particular, I want to say Tim Lim, Matt Weldon, and Brian Ball, all whose books are with Antarctic Press, were pivotal and vital with me getting with Antarctic Press.
Nice.
I'm going to show you a little later a punchline. The cover for Punchline 15 has all our characters on it.
I'm sorry. Bianca.
So, I mean, like, there's when she learns that her baby has wings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some big ultrasound. So it causes this big problem. Like, here's this beautiful 2-page spread of just shit going down. You know what I mean?
Again, that is so great. Just everyone's ready to throw down, with these or against the law, and they're trying to help. Oh, that is so good.
And it's Niobe facing off with the cops and the cops.
And how long ago was this made?
This was last year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm going to show you some pages from the new book that we're fulfilling in January.
That's the Origins one?
That's the Origins, where we tell Niobe's origin story. You know what I mean? Origins actually takes like. Oh, you dipping out?
Yeah, I gotta go.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Max.
Yeah,
thanks for
having me, man.
Yep.
All right. Peace out.
Yep.
Peace out, brother.
I see.
And then this is like the cliffhanger moment of issue 1, right? Is when Ariel shows up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now shit's about to go down. So you back that, and then you go, oh shit, I need to know what happens next because I want to fucking get to this.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. You want to basically, so you did 2 of them to set up like they should. You didn't try and shove it into all one story.
And these did well. You know, this was a $7,000 Kickstarter. Number 2 was 16 grand.
But yeah, because you got everyone wanting more. They want to know what happens next. What happens next?
So I mean, you don't need to do these 80-page books. I know Comicsgate's big on that.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you something. They're worth more as floppies, and I'll tell you why. Because eBay flippers love flipping our books. You know, the Paul Green cover that I did. I'm going to show you this. Plus, they're easier to get graded. Okay.
True.
They'll fit in a grading case a little better.
Yep.
But I mean, like, if you're a guy that collects graded books, and I know a lot of people are, I'm
not personally.
I have a CGC account, a graders account, right?
Ooh, nice.
Now, without even being in the case, people were flipping these on eBay for $150.
Dang!
Now, this in the case is probably worth $200, $250. I was selling these for $200 a piece when I got these.
Dude, you have made it to the dream already, well before any of these I in CG have.
Well, I don't have $1 million campaign.
No, not that portion. No. But I'm talking about what. Okay, here's where my biggest problem was what CG is. CG used to have, and when they started wanting to do crowdfunding books, they had a set method, you know, like a goal. And basically, they wanted to make this like a big universe, fictional universe type of thing initially. Then eventually went where I wanted, funny thing is, I predicted a lot of stuff that CG's gone to now. Let me get back to it being the 2 of us.
Well, look at this.
oh, great cover. Great.
That's first appearance of the Phoenix.
Phoenix, yep. And then they used something similar for the Dark Phoenix eventually, that pose. Spider-Gwen.
First appearance of Spider-Gwen.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, I actually have a version of that signed and with a certificate of authenticity, you know, and everything.
Yeah, first appearance of Black Cat, Spider-Man 194.
Black Cat's one of my favorites.
One of the books I got signed by Mr. Todd McFarlane.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, this was his first work on Amazing Spider-Man right here.
Nice. I would have gone, if I had the issue, I would do 300 personally, but that's great.
I didn't have 300, but I had this. So he's
Spider-Man number 1.
Right, of course, you're going to get him to sign that. This here's a beautiful J. Scott Campbell cover from the Stan Lee store.
Oh, nice. Speaking of which, I actually do have a free sketch by J. Scott Campbell of Jewel. Just a sec.
J. Scott Campbell from the J. Scott Campbell store, Magic, my favorite X-Men of all time.
Oh, hold on. Let me take a look. Nice. Oh yeah. How'd you feel when they brought her back?
Loved it, man. Magic's my favorite Marvel character of all time, man.
Right. So so you enjoyed it. Yep. Okay.
Let's see if you recognize a couple of these.
Oh, hold on a second. Here's the free sketch.
Oh yeah, there you go, brother. Nothing wrong with free. You got a Campbell sketch. I mean, I would love to have a fucking Campbell sketch. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh yeah, but I got it at Wizard Chicago. Now I got one from Jim Starlin. Unfortunately, it's not great. I'll show. It was a quick one, free one, and he doesn't do much artwork anymore, so it's something. But
yeah, it's a.
That's my Visceral character, but it's like I don't hate it, obviously, but at the same time, it's one of those where you're like, he just.
Yeah. I mean, it's free, right?
Yep. Oh, by the way, I had a friend because I came up with Meninjetta not long after the Court of Owls. I came up with my own grouping of her called the Scorpion Stingers. And I had a friend who I sadly haven't gotten in contact with in a while design a bunch of these.
Yeah.
Bunch of variation designs for them. Personally, I prefer this one.
Like I told you before, you got lots of reference material to hand off to an artist to make some stuff.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Oh, speaking of which, Jewel with Sorry from Transformers Prime older. Just want to make clear she's older when I show this. Again, a bit of his stuff. Oh, You want to see an example of him? Here's him in his early stage, drawing from Danny Phantom, Sam with Ghost Powers versus Ember. That's his earliest days, and then this is him later.
Yeah, that's quite an improvement.
Yeah, huge improvement. And then eventually he did
keep practicing your craft, you know?
Yeah, but eventually went on to that and this. To the point where I actually remember Rich Buckler? Rest in peace. He actually did this.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Back to my friend Dan doing Jewel.
Rock and roll, man.
Yep. Here's another one. A girl named she's Valkyrie. Here's another one. Microbe. Yeah, obviously she's a shrinking hero. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I know. I got a lot of ladies.
Hey, listen, you do very well on Kickstarter.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I would. But here's the
like
big...
I told you, Kickstarter's the home for like, you know, that sort of hot chicks books. You know what I mean?
I realized I never mentioned. I didn't tell you about my other version for Jewel's origin. The other version for her, if she was solo, meaning no other characters existed, her mother would have created her a bit of X-23 as, except no Wolverine, but the idea of wanting to make this techno-organic robot, and she decides I'd rather do it myself. She carries the child to term and all that, and eventually this techno-organic girl grows up and eventually gains these abilities right when it's decided Earth is now open, on the free market for anyone to conquer. How's that sound? Oh, I just realized I didn't have an image. I am so sorry. Dude, do you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I was muted.
Oh, that is nice. I love that cover.
Of course, this is a cover that caused a lot of fucking people to cry.
And then Frank Cho made a great career out of it.
Didn't he though? But this was like, this is so iconic and such a piece of history in the fact, like Milo Manera got canceled from Marvel essentially after this. You know what I mean?
He hasn't done any work since? He hasn't done work since?
No, not for Marvel.
Oh, jeez.
No. But I mean, this was one of his, this piece, I'm going to admit, wasn't that great. But, before that happened, I mean, he was pumping out stuff like this. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Right?
And he was pumping out stuff like this, this beautiful Gamora cover, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but because of that one image, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was our first look at, sort of cancellation in comic books that really made it to the forefront,
Exactly. Oh, yes. That is a classic cover. You do it. Yep.
This is the first appearance of the Spidey suit, the symbiote, right?
Yep, the black suit. Oh, I should tell you this. I'm not going to pull them all out, but except for maybe one or two Gotham and Batman Chronicles, I have just about every single Elseworld. Period. All of them. Oh, Conan.
Well, this is the first appearance of Red Sonja.
Yep. First comic appearance anyway, right? If I remember right, the character was introduced long ago.
I'm not sure about that.
Really?
Look that up.
Yeah, talk about yeah. Oh, Spider-Woman. Yep.
First appearance of Spider-Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have this isn't a first appearance. It's just a gorgeous cover.
Oh, yep, from Inferno. Yep. Now, okay, can I ask you something? When it comes to comics, where do you stand on, do you think that there's as much wokeness that everyone keeps making it out to be, or do you think it's gotten to a point, great cover, it's gotten to a point where there's a lot more people who are grifting, claiming everything's woke, and hyping people up to hate something before it even comes out? Nice.
That's an original piece by Nick Bradshaw.
Right.
But to answer your question, it's a mix of both, right? Yeah. I think companies are pushing that agenda a little hard lately.
Marvel more than DC, I would say. Marvel more than DC.
Yeah, really? Because now we have the bisexual Superman. We have the bisexual Tim Drake. We have the gay Aqualad.
Whoa. To be fair, with Aqualad, he was already introduced as, back in Young Justice, he was already going to be bisexual. Jeff Johns, when he brought him into Brightest Day, misunderstood the memo and had him be gay. He's technically been gay since Brightest Day. They did not do
it. That's fine.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I got you. But my point is that we're seeing an influx from DC now.
True.
of these characters coming. Okay.
Right.
They have a directive, just like Marvel has a directive, to be more inclusive. Now,
True.
listen. Here's the thing, and my take on inclusivity and diversity and all that. There's room on the shelf for everything, right?
Exactly.
If Marvel and DC want to put out a book with a trans character or a bisexual character, power to them, right? It's not really going to be for me. It's going to be for someone else. Power to them. Just make sure when I put out my books that you don't fucking say shit to me, because I'm not going to say shit to you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
With that being said, if they really wanted to get their books over more with the crowds, they wouldn't push as hard. You know what I mean? Because what it is, it's a really strong, forceful, aggressive push. Instead of sort of slowly introducing these things over the course.
Oh, good God! Amen on that. I will agree with you on that one entirely. But I will say this: here's where I say DC has a step over Marvel. Marvel, when they did this, they basically said, "Out was the old, in was the new. Deal with it. You have no other options." DC at least is giving you other options in the other books. You have his Superman's son, but he's still off in action. You have Tim. But you have the other Robins, you have the other Batman and all that stuff. With Aquaman, yes, you have him currently in the Becoming, but you still have Deep Target, and Aquaman's going to make it clear it's going to be about both of them still. You get what I'm saying, right? It's like for each one they have, they're doing what Tristan Nardez called double dipping.
And you're going to see it get even sort of more forceful. I mean, they're not backing away from it. They're sort of doubling down on it, Well,
I will agree with that.
And both companies are like, this is how it is, and this is the direction, I don't necessarily think that, being such aggressive and forceful with it is the way to go. I don't necessarily think having your creators on social media getting an argument with fans is a way to go.
True.
I think it looks poorly on them and on the company.
I agree with that. I agree with that too.
Now, to get to the other side of it, though, right? I do think that there are people that definitely will take something this big and try and make it this big.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And they make their YouTube careers off that, right? You watch any of the guys like Geeks and Gamers, The Quartering, whoever, right? They're going to take a story, regardless of how insignificant it might be, and blow it up so they can get the drama clicks.
Oh, God. Here's one more example I'm going to give. And this is one of the reasons that really drove me away from wanting to have anything to do with a lot of these YouTube community. He-Man Revelations. Or Master of the Universe Revelations, sorry. Yeah. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of what I was predicting was going to happen. There was some stuff that annoyed me, didn't blow it out of proportion like others did. In fact, I say a lot of the hatred seems a bit unfounded, especially when, by the end of it all, most of the stuff that was in that leaks were not true, but you have everyone to say, oh, it is true because of what Clownfish said. But then at the same time, you have that new Arcane, or is that how you say it, Arcane? Yeah, Arcane, that new series that just came out. Yeah, everyone's singing all the praise. Everyone's singing all the praise and stuff, but it came out of nowhere. But I am sure if people knew this was coming beforehand, you would have had some insiders giving some of the little tidbits on how things are written. Because there's a lot of stuff in there that I think people would normally complain about. But because they're not going in there with preconceived hatred, they're not seeing it. So it's going right over their heads, and they're getting all the enjoyment of the good writing.
So here's the difference between those two series. One, He-Man is a classic 80s cartoon for toys, right?
True.
Arcane is based off of League of Legends, which is a very popular mobile video game. But most people coming into Netflix watching that aren't going to know that. They're just going to go, oh, what's this Arcane, and they're going to watch it. And that's going to be their first experience. In fact, it's going to be my first experience. I played League of Legends maybe for 30 minutes once in my life.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, or with me, the only time I ever seen League of Legends was they did DuckTales spoof with it.
Right. So, I'm going to watch it, and basically it's going to be my first experience to it. So whatever they present to me, that's going to be my first impression. He-Man's a little different because we already have an impression of what He-Man was and what we, as old school fans, what we think He-Man should be. I didn't personally like it. I watched it. It was you know what I mean? But had I been behind the helm on that, it would have been a different show.
I would agree with that, but the reason why I liked it is because where I saw this coming. I read the DC comics that Rob David, one of the guys involved with the show, was involved with. The recent DC stuff. And a lot of that type of writing and handling of stuff was in Revelation. So it's like, and I feel it's what, as they said before, they said in the interviews beforehand, this is the 80s show unrestricted. And that's what I feel it was. And I think a lot of people felt they wanted to stay restricted and yet not be restricted. Not all of them. Not everyone. I'm not saying everyone.
What people wanted was more He-Man.
True,
right?
but I think Adam is just as important.
He's all right, but I mean, back in the day, it was called He-Man and the Masters
of the Universe.
And it was all centered around He-Man and basically with his crew, right?
Right.
It ended up becoming more centered around Teela and her story than it really was about Adam and his story. And the thing is, it really got weird when He-Man could become like this weird savage, like Kazar basically character.
Mm-hmm. More Hulk, but yeah.
Like the sword should have always been the source of the power because the sword was always what was in contention. And Skeletor needed both halves of the sword to get.
Oh, that was the original figure, the original toys, yeah.
Right. That's kind of where I would have went with it, you know.
Right.
I mean, if you want to get the feminists happy and you want to have Teela have a major part, sure, you can go ahead and do that. But here's the other problem. They made Teela look like a fucking butch.
Okay.
She looked like someone that walked out of a fucking goddamn fucking gym after being roided out for fucking 7 weeks. You know what I mean?
Okay, I will not argue that, but I will say this. With Teela, I have a feeling they were going to make this be a one season, but then they were able to get more rights to Hordak and all that stuff. That's why it ends with the tease at the end. But I do, because it does feel that last episode do feel like they stretched things out at the very end, or they rushed things a little bit. But I do think that because they were writing this as this could be the final one, you needed to set up Teela so with the stuff with her being the sorcerer's daughter, because she would eventually take over it. You don't want that to be a footnote, you know what I mean?
Well, so could have done that without He-Man though playing second fiddle to his own show, right?
Yeah, again, I will agree with that too, but
now, here's the other thing. The show would have been better if they made Teela a little hotter. I think people wouldn't have been as hard on it. So one of the things that people really made fun of was her haircut and her body shape. And they did that because they were scared to make Teela sexy because they didn't want to get the mob on their back.
Okay, I will agree with that. I can agree with that. I can agree with that point of view, I should say.
It's the same reason why they fucking butchered She-Ra. You know what I mean?
Oh, God. No, that I looked at as a different thing altogether because from what I understand, Mattel, and I do remember this was back when Clownfish even said, Mattel were not always the fans, but they had no control. That was DreamWorks. DreamWorks had all the control in that show. That's part of the reason why they didn't do so well with putting out toys for it, because they knew it wasn't going to sell.
But I mean, the animation for He-Man was good. I just some of the execution was, the old fans didn't like it. You know, I mean, I'm
an old fan. I'm an old fan, and I guess.
But you're the exception. I mean, a lot of us didn't. You know.
But the problem was is those who act like we are the real fans. If you like it, you are not a fan, no matter what you said, and that's what pushed me away.
It's just we want to see, something cool because here's the thing. This is what people don't realize, and this is what people got to remember, right? Like when we think about comic books that we like and TV shows that we like, it always comes back to what you got behind on the shelf. Okay, stuff you've read in the past, stuff you love before 2016. Okay, there was nothing wrong with that stuff prior to 2016.
Agree.
And that's what made everyone love it in the first place. So when you go ahead and you change the formula.
Oh, I agree. I'm not arguing that. And
why change the formula when what was working before was working? Because that's what you're drawn to. That's what you love anyway.
Exactly. But I do feel it's gone. This is where my issue is. And I will agree with you. That's one of the reasons that pushed me towards CG in the early point. When you had the SJWs who were being all, get out of here, we're in charge, we're liking this stuff, what you like is crap. And those that were in early CG and later CG were open arms, like, come on in, we'll take you in. But it went on. It's now gone to a point where now they become just as determining what's a real fan or not, and how dare you like something.
Well, look, ultimately we're going to vote with our dollar, right?
Exactly.
You're going to buy something, either you're going to like it or not. You're going to watch something on TV, either you're going to like it or not, right? There's a reason why Cowboy Bebop got canceled.
Oh, good God, yes, I will agree with that. Now, I hope you understand. I am not big. Like I'm, being. Sorry, let me rephrase it. My mind's getting all jumbled right now. Hope you realize that I am being, agreeing to disagree on a lot of factors because.
But I'm just giving my opinions. You know.
Yep, exactly, and I respect your opinions, and I respect
what you like, right? I'm not going to sit here and go, what you like is wrong.
Exactly, and that's
saying, if not enough people like it, it's not going to go anywhere, though, right?
Exactly.
So Cowboy Bebop, not enough people liked it, and guess what? Canceled.
Exactly. Now, but if you know, though, Masters of the Universe has not been announced as canceled, and they could have.
Well, I think they were already stuck in that deal, though. You know what I mean? I think those episodes were already made and ready.
I'm talking about the next, but I'm talking about, though, they have not announced it yet for another season. So I think if they haven't announced it by now, I think it's probably done a lot better than Cowboy Bebop did. Then again, there's also the price. Yep.
You can do good television. Listen, it's not hard.
Yep.
Look at Cobra Kai, for instance.
Oh, yes. I have been binging that show every season.
One of the best new shows in a long time. Look at The Mandalorian. You know what I mean?
Oh, yep.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Are you excited for season 4, by the way, of Cobra Kai?
Yeah, dude. I watched
Silver.
5 minutes before I jumped on this stream, dude.
Yep. I said Terry Silver being back is...
That's not even the highlight I picked out of it, right? The highlight I picked out of it was right at the very end where you see Danny and Johnny face off in the fucking ring.
Yeah.
With their suits on. Like, they're going to fight.
I think that was what they were.
We're getting Johnny versus Danny round 2 at that tournament.
Yes. And why do I have a feeling that was part of what they were voting on beforehand? Why do I have a feeling that's what it was they were talking about, saying, like, this could really change how things going? And I'm like, because at the end you're like, wait, what is this change they're talking about? And I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
So I think that's going to be big. I think that will happen in the very last episode.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's going to be big, And then 2 days before that, because that comes out on the 31st, 2 days before that, on the 29th, is the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, yep. I am looking forward to that. I think that's going to be well handled. Now, look, I will say this as well. Star Wars, definitely one of the things that lost me was Last Jedi. It
lost a lot of people, man. Look, even The Force Awakens lost a lot of people because it was such almost a carbon copy of A New Hope in many ways. You know what I mean?
But I was willing to give it a chance based off of the next movie. Everything about it, like Rey, I'm not going to say she's a Mary Sue yet. Let's wait till the next movie. Next movie comes out, she's a Mary Sue. But funny thing is, though, when it comes to someone like Rian Johnson, and I had this epiphany of all things after I saw the Godzilla anime trilogy, and that creator being someone very similar. That's the guy who did Puyo Madoka Magica, which is basically a deconstruction of the Magical Girl animes. Have you ever heard of it? You've heard of it?
Well, I know what Magical Girl animes are. I don't know.
Oh yeah, but Madoka Magica is a complete deconstruction. And it one of the great anime. But the Godzilla anime trilogy deconstructs Godzilla. It's as bad as Last Jedi. That bad. But it's similar to Rian Johnson, like when he did Knives Out. Deconstructs the murder mystery, and it works. But it's basically one of those things where you give them their own IPs, they make wonders. Put them on an established IP.
It's like this, though. I'm the disgruntled fan before there was the internet, right? I'm 47 years old. I saw Empire Strikes Back in the fucking theater.
Oh, wow. You know what I mean? I'm just 36. I'm 36.
So I'm 11 years older than you are. Mm-hmm. And I remember going and seeing the prequels in the theater. I thought, these fucking suck. You know what I mean?
Hey, I will agree. I had moments I liked in the first episode 1 and 2. 3 is the only one that came close to coming on par. Was the
3 was the one that kind of tied in everything together.
It's the one that George wanted to do. The other 2 were just trying to set in the stage.
Well, the first one was long and boring, and no one really got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The second one was really cheesy, a lot of cheesy moments in it. The third one, though, Revenge of the Sith, where it all got dark and cool, and we got to see Anakin become Vader, and Luke getting handed off to fucking Uncle
Owen and Emperor.
Yeah. All that stuff was great. You know what I mean? But like you said, those first 2, you got to get through those 2 to kind of get to what you really wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
But
exactly.
I remember, if I had the internet back in the day, I would have been one of those guys making this video on the Phantom Menace. This fucking sucks. And now, though, these fans who are dissing on The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker are praising the prequels like they were a fucking gift from God. Obviously, they don't remember that well. I'm sorry, I've been on a little rant there, sir.
No, I don't mind rants. I've had plenty of rants. I've gone on rants, trust me. But
I'm gonna bail here soon.
Actually, I was about to wind down anyway. It's getting late.
But what I wanted to say was, if there was any still questions you want to ask about crowdfunding, or you had a list of questions, if you didn't get to any of them.
Nope. I didn't have any specific list. I think you answered more than enough, and I appreciate for your insights, dude. A lot of stuff that I'm definitely taking into consideration. I mean, I really want to make all this stuff. But if there's one question I want to ask is, which of my characters do you think I should focus on first? And I'll just put out the ones that I definitely were planning on making titles on. Just give me a moment.
I already know the answer, but
okay, which one? It was either going to be Jewel, Ninjetta, or the Redeemers.
No, I think it's going to be Jewel.
Jewel, that's what so many people say. Everyone loves Jewel. Whenever I show Jewel to come, I give them a couple of them. Say, who do you want to commission? Most of them did Jewel, so I got to pull her out for a time.
Whoever the girl is with the purple hair.
Yeah, that's Jewel. That's Jewel.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
The robot girl.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best. That's had some of the best art.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can do a lot and work with that. I think you can make a lot of great variant covers with that. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I mean, Ninja is definitely my second one I would do afterwards. But yeah, Jewel's always the one that everyone relates to. If there's one problem, the tattoo you saw in some of the images, I can't use it because that's from My Life as a Teenage Robot. That's the cluster symbol. So aside from that, I'd have to rework that symbol. But other than that, though, she is perfectly good to go.
I'm going to share my screen one last time because I promise a sneak peek at the new book.
Oh, nice. Hold on. And ooh.
Now these are just some of the pages. Now some of these, you'll have seen on the Kickstarter. A couple of them you might not have. But for your viewers, people who are, know nothing about Nyobi, this is what you're getting on the inside. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So some beautiful artwork and colors here by Juan Antonio Altaveras and Dan the Man Olvera. Like I said, Action Lab Comics prodigies.
Yep. Is this her finding about her? Is this story going to be about her finding out about her origin, like she never knew until now?
Well, this is what she's having right here is a dream sequence in these particular images of future events that may or may not happen to her.
Right. Ooh. That's what they base off of Lady Death. The look.
Yeah. Well, she was. I made her back in 2016, and this is sort of like Nyobi. Before she's kind of like just discovering her powers. You know what I mean?
Right.
She has this like bad dream. She teleports out into the hall. She, at this point, she's 16, just starting her career. She's a music star, in a pop girl band.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting ready to take the stage.
Nice. I'm definitely going to put money down for this. I am definitely going to put money down for this when you start it.
Chick goes down, and her powers go off in front of the whole public, and that's as far as I'll go with it. It's a 36-page book.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yep. Now, actually, there's one more question I would ask, because I always like to deal with multiverse stuff in my series and everything. So if I ever get something off the ground, would you ever be against doing a crossover or anything?
I get asked that a lot. The thing with crossovers is they're hard to manage because both parties got different ideas. Then what ends up happening is money gets in the way.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
How do we divide the funds? And like, let's say you do a Kickstarter and it barely funds and there's no money left for anyone. People get a little disgruntled, or someone cheats the other person, or the deal goes south, or just U.S. people have a falling out. Like maybe you get along one week and then next week you're in a feud. You know what I mean?
Kind of like what happened with Mike Miller and more Malin than Mark Polton, but at least they kept their crossovers, their initial crossovers together at least.
So that's the problem with crossovers, right?
Yep, I understand.
So I generally say no to them. I'm doing one crossover with Ben Dunn. It's going to feature Nyobi and Ichiku from Ninja High School.
All right.
They're going to be in a book together. I'm writing it now. Ben's going to draw it. So Ninja High School, 35 years, man, going on to its 200th issue.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. And isn't it? I heard about that. And aren't they doing something? They're doing something with Common America too.
Yeah, it's Tomorrow Girl and Common America. So that's the first crossover that Ben's doing. The second one is Ichiku with Nyobi.
Nice. But look, I would say this. I would be more willing, because I'm doing this more for the artwork, just getting my work out there and everything. So if I ever have to do a crossover, I'd be willing to more take a hit than anything else, just so I can have it be, let it get out there, let it get out in the open. So I'm just letting you know that right up here and now. That's how my mindset would be.
Yeah, and and you never know what's going to happen. I mean, I'm not going to say no to anything. I mean, if it's a good opportunity and it's a smart move to make, then you make it, right? But starting off, I wouldn't even worry about crossovers. I would just worry about getting your initial offering out there, get that into the world, get that circulating a little bit, do the rounds, do some YouTube appearances, meet some more people in the industry, get that craft really going, and then you can start thinking about how to expand. you know?
Right. Hey, you did say something about sending me a list of creators. Just email me. I'll give you my email address on DM, and you can just email me a good list of those people.
Well,
because
keep in mind that the names I will end up giving you are all known for their sort of sexy style art.
I don't mind that. All right.
Well, like if you're gonna do like the Jewel comic and you want some good, like, you know, 90s image sort of art to go along with it, those would be the sorts of names.
Yeah, trust me, I won't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all. Drawing, you know, having Jewel drawn sexily and everything.
I mean, it's gonna sell comics.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's part of the reason why Zenoscope did what they did. A lot of those covers were just to get people's attention.
Listen,
and,
I know people shit on variant covers, but the last campaign I did, I ran 11 variants.
Whoa.
11. 5 of them are going to be foiled. They're going to be nice. But I'll tell you something. That's the reason why we were able to hit a 5-figure campaign. That's the reason why we were able to do 24 grand. Was because we had a couple, you know, really good artists, and we had lots of variety for people to choose.
Exactly.
They didn't like this cover, but they really like that one. You know what I mean?
Exactly. There's some books I get because of the cover. You know what I mean?
Well, there's cover collectors. I mean, there's people that bought those Paul Green books I showed you earlier because they're Paul Green fans. They followed them over from Zenoscope, and what they go is, oh, this is a Paul Green cover, but we know there's only going to be 400 of those, which makes it one of the rarest Paul Green covers out there.
Exactly.
As a Paul Green fan, they got to have it now. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But yeah, like I said, I'll send you my email. But yeah, anyway,
it'd be like collecting a rare J. Scott Campbell cover or something. You know,
exactly.
Campbell fan. Same idea.
Exactly. But well, Larry, thank you so much for coming on.
Hey,
and
I'll
have you on. I'd like to have you on again when you get closer to your actual release. That way we can hype it up.
Well, I'll also say this: invite Max on for a solo interview because he never really got to talk about his stuff.
You're right.
He has a book called Mary Machine Gun. He just released another book called Human Hunters. Like, it's all good stuff. And he's another guy that fulfills on time and has quality work. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You want to talk to him, so maybe hit him up for an interview next. You know?
I will do that next. Well, I do have a stream tomorrow with I don't remember I actually just forgot what his YouTube account is. Just 1 second. It's the Geek Getaway. I have him coming on tomorrow, and then after that, I'm trying to get Tim Seeley on by the end of the month. I'm looking forward to it.
Wide open, so just, you know, fire him off a message. Just say, hey, dude, blah blah blah. He'll be like, yeah, sure, boss, win. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I will do that. But yeah, thank you so much. A reminder to answer Nerdette's email.
I'll answer her email. And guys, if you want to follow me and see what we do, my show's a lot different. You know, we're kind of jokers. We're like rebels. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We just do our own thing. We have fun. But it's Nyobi Comics on YouTube. Go ahead.
Yep.
And look this up and,
I think I subscribed to you. I think. Yeah, I think I did. So yeah,
we do a Sunday night show where we talk about comics and the biz and blah, blah, blah. But other than that, a lot of times I'm live gaming.
Right. I don't do live gaming. If I did, I'd be doing a bunch of point-and-click adventure games, and I don't think a lot of people want to see that.
I've been all about Halo for the last week. So,
geez, Halo Infinite. I am so aware of that. Wow.
It's a great game, though. You know, I mean, the microtransitions suck. But I haven't paid a dime for it.
I've been doing the campaigns. I'm a campaign guy. I'm a story guy. That's the thing about me. I'm always about the campaign
is free. Like, if you have the Xbox Game Pass,
I do.
The campaign is free. You just go and play. You just saved yourself $60. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You saved yourself $60 to go and see what happened between to Cortana and the others.
That's it, my brother. All right, man. Well, it's nice to meet you. You should drop by our show sometime. Come on, hang out a little bit.
Yep.
You know, especially when you start getting rocking and rolling with your stuff. You know
what I mean? Oh, trust me. I got so much I could have shown off right now. I mean, okay. One last book I want to ask. Have you ever heard of Godland?
I don't know.
By Image Comics. It's Joe Casey and Tom Scololi.
Yeah.
Look it up.
I mean, I think I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it.
Look it up. That's all I say. Look it up. It's one of the biggest.
I want to get one Image comic right now, and I heard you talk about because before I came on, I skimmed through a couple of streams just to see who you were, sort of thing, and you were talking about Noctera.
Noctera, yep. Talk about Noctera and Geiger.
Tony Daniels and Scott Snyder or whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's the only book I've gotten from Image in a little while. But what a great book, because Tony Daniels, people don't know, comes way back from yesteryear. He used to do a book called The 10th, which was fucking awesome.
I remember the 10th.
Well, he was the artist for that, you know?
Yep, but I would check out Geiger as well. I mean, seriously, $9.99 for a book that usually, if you add all the individuals up, would be $25. That's a great deal.
Right on, man.
Well,
All right,
Chef
I'm gonna
John.
bounce, brother.
Yep.
Nyobi Comics, subscribe and look for Exciting Comics 17 on the shelf at the local comic shop like next week.
Wow, yes. Take care.
$4.99, man. All right.
Yep.
Up, brother.
Yep, take care. And thank all of you guys for joining as well. And I will see you on the next one. Later.